We're going live now. Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Batman Beyond 644 Goes Monk. And today we got a very special guest. We got the one and the only Black Wolf MGTOW. Black Wolf, how you doing, brother? And welcome to the stream, man.
Hey, hey man, how's it going? I'm happy to be here, and yeah, I'm happy I finally, had the time to join on the interview. I remember saying I would, and I'm happy to be here, and hate everyone in the comments section. You know, real great to be here. Life's been a
I,
bit
re-
tough, but I'm happy.
I really appreciate it, man. There's a lot of things going on with a lot of men, especially today in modern times, whether it's relationships, jobs, economic issues. A lot of men are going through stuff. It's just that the world doesn't really show it, or they refuse to acknowledge it. It's a lot of things that are going on out there. So if you're comfortable, like Wolf, you can tell us about you. Your background, where you came from. Your experiences, or just something to start off. Like an
Well,
intro for yourself.
well, I was born in America, and much of my family. You can normally find us in like places like Texas and Colorado and all those other places. And I lived everywhere. I traveled almost everywhere, lived everywhere. I went to the city, went to the rural area, went to school in the city for a good, I'd say like good majority. Got away from that, and ultimately just went my own way. Wasn't an overnight thing, but it was just gradual. For me, I had family that could, they could live the city life. They could live, that kind of stuff. For me, I was done with it. Didn't want to be part of that anymore. Too many bad experiences. So I just got up out of there. And it also helped me greatly. I mean, learn about myself, learn about the world. I tell all men to travel. If you don't like where you are, travel, find a place. Sail to wherever you got to sail to be where you want to be. And it's not. Sometimes it's not even where you want to be; it's where you need to be. Sometimes you're in a place because you need to be there for that moment to learn all you can. So for me, it was a constant trial and error learning that. But I was able to pick up a lot of skills about that. I remember going to school for, agriculture at one point in time. Really interested in nature. And that was fun. And I often tell men to work for yourself. Start your own business. Do it. And if you can make a lot of money and have no one know who you are, even better. That's the goal. Ultimately, is to completely ghost because I left because society was not going to give me what I wanted. And as my good friend Batman over here was telling me one day, yeah, society tells you what to do and what to want, and then when anything goes wrong, it's automatically your fault. And this is what leads a lot of men to become very, black-hearted about it. And this is why characters like the Joker, embody the black pill to a T. Because a lot of us have been there. Hell, I've been there. And it took me close to 5 years to get up out of it. So that's with the information. Without the information, it would have taken longer. There are men that, you know, make that final decision because they don't have any support or anybody in their corner or the information. So a lot of what guys like me do and men to manosphere do, we're actually saving men. I mean, like I hate us, we're doing the best we can in a shitty situation. We are reactionary to what is going on. And I don't make my videos, for money. I mean, a lot of people know this already. You don't see a Cash App or a Patreon down there. I do this purely because I want to. I used to do 7, 10 hour streams. Of course, people kind of ruined that when all these assholes coming on and fighting me. But I mean, I still want to do them, maybe 2, 3 hours or something like that. But that's just about me. I decided I wanted to be close to nature. That's what makes me happy. I like being around animals. I like music. These are things I enjoy. And I had my moment. When I was younger, in my teens, 20s, I hung out with goth kids, skateboarders. I always had a diverse group of friends. So it wasn't lack of exposure that really made me that way. It was too much of the exposure to the city and everything else that made me the way I am. Had people fighting me. I had even people fighting me then. Didn't like the way I talked, dressed. Didn't like me and my family. Didn't like what we had or whatever they perceived us to have. And I didn't want to be there anymore. I mean, but I had my fun. Went to the beach. I went to parties, went to raves, went to clubs. I did all of that, but it wasn't hitting on nothing. I didn't want that to be the cornerstone of my life. So it was fun for a hot minute, but who needs it?
Mm, yeah. I'm glad you mentioned.
Sorry.
Hey, do you have Bluetooth headphones in?
Now I'm using this little Alienware headset, so it was a slight
Oh,
2 second delay, but I fixed it. I think I fixed it now.
okay. Because I remember when I go mute, I can hear you clearly, but when I go back on, it's like you fade away a little bit. But you're fine now. So I'm glad you mentioned getting off grid, being judged by others, and the really good point that you made was that society tells you to do a lot of things. According to their standards, you do it, and then if you don't succeed, then it's you're at fault, right? And I can relate to that. People say, hey, buy this, buy that, go to the gym, and we all know that you should go to the gym for your own health and benefit, not for the validation of others. But we all know about the conditioning, right? So Black
Yeah.
Wolf, like, why if the average Joe couldn't live up to the standard to society in the first place, then why would they like continue to entertain the average Joe to partake in certain events to standards that they can't even maintain?
That's because when you look at how judgmental the average person is and how they compare their lives to celebrities and everything you watch on social media, it conditions you to be this way. I mean, the worst part about it is I can't even watch, basic TV or anything like that anymore. I have to resign myself to either watching movies, usually old movies or anime. And people ask me, "Wow, why you watch anime all the time?" Because it's the only art form I can watch and not be disgusted. I mean, all the other stuff is 10 times more fake because it teaches you to compare your life to a celebrity. I mean, I'm not Elon Musk. I will never have Elon Musk level money or LeBron level money. And the average person won't either. So why model your life off of someone you can't measure up to? But this is what society teaches you. And you watch any movie with the Joker in it. The Joker is a perfect representation, albeit an extreme one though, of one of a guy that's just been broken by society. I mean, yeah, one could argue that he was a messed up dude, but society sure as hell didn't mitigate that. They actually encouraged it. And slightly off, slightly off topic, but to the one hit a dislike on the video, thank you for that too. You listened for a good 5 seconds and decided to do that. So I'm always noticing things.
Oh,
Let me
I
throw
didn't know
one.
that. I didn't know that. As long as we're saving lives, yeah, people are
Yeah,
gonna hate. It is what it is. But yeah, man, and we were all guilty of doing this, man. We were all guilty of like comparing our lives to others, and if we see the other person having fun, or they're getting all the girls, or they're getting all the love, we kind of tend to like be like, damn, I kind of want that, and because we all want to fit in. But now knowing the information that we know, we realize that all that shit doesn't matter, because if you're, remember this, gentlemen, if you're a person of higher status, you may have the status, but the thing is that you got to work hard to maintain it, and that can stress you the fuck out. Like, just imagine being a millionaire, having all these people around you because of the fame and the fortune, and you got to constantly spend more money. You got to constantly spend more time hanging out with a lot of people just to keep up, and you're just stressed the fuck out. It's like you're just burnt out because you have to maintain all that, fame. You got to maintain it. So it's like you kind of lose the ability to find the things that you really love. You're just basically stressing yourself out to please others. And that's the unfortunate thing that's going on in this society. Just like men, for example, Black Wolf, a lot of guys, they're stressing themselves out trying to figure out how can I win the heart of a female that doesn't give two fucks about them. That's what's going on. David Castro, what's up, brother? Salute to you, brother. Salute to you, brother. Black Wolf, what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a case of people living for others and not themselves. And this is a major problem in society. I mean, people should gain enjoyment from spending time with their families or spending time improving themselves. If you go, like, for example, people go to the gym. People shouldn't go to the gym to try to, oh, let me look like this model over here or whatever. You should go to the gym for your own health. But I see these guys go to the gym and they try to compare themselves to other men. I mean, it's like a 5 foot guy goes to the gym, sees a over 6 foot guy go to the gym. If I just work out enough, maybe one day I'll be. No, it doesn't work that way. But people, instead of just being happy with themselves, they compare themselves to everyone else. It can be looks, it could be status, it could be power. And instead of just focusing on the positive elements of themselves, society teaches you that you must be like A, B, and C. And failure to ascribe to this belief, they just exercise you. They kick you out like a leper. I mean, socially, emotionally, they just don't want anything to do with you. But at the same time, they'll tell you, oh, keep contributing. For what? You know?
And we definitely got to, and one of the topics I want to bring up in this random, I didn't write this stuff down, is basically, a man's value. It could be, to anything, right? I think, in my opinion, Black Wolf, and I'm going to get your take on it, when it comes to a man's value, society wants to determine what a man's value is. Instead of, it's like this, they don't want you to determine your own value. They want you to let them determine your own value instead of you determining your own. Because again, we live in a time now to where a lot of men are depressed because they felt like that they didn't live up to society's standards of what women think of them, what certain family members think of them, and they're very depressed. So they're trying to, overexert themselves to something that they're not. And here's the thing, gentlemen: if something is for you, it's for you. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Some people got talent, some people don't. Because I'm 6'4", right, Black Wolf, and when I tell people that, oh, I'm not a basketball player, I'm not an athlete, people say, I'm not, wow, you're tall for nothing, because I don't play sports. But the thing is, not everyone is an athlete. You know what I mean? So, that was people trying to determine my value. And at that time, I was like, damn, because at that time, I used to thought like, damn, they're right. I'm 6'4". Why can't I play basketball? Why can't I play these sports? Why am I not good? No matter how hard I train, I'm just not good at it. And then now I realized, like, you know what? I'm not an athlete. I'm not a good looking guy. I'm just not that guy. I accept it. I embrace it, and I'm taking it to the grave. What do you think, Black Wolf? It was just an example.
I think it's really sad how society, does this. And the same person, if a person's like 6 feet tall and and they're not like an athlete, that person can be the next, I don't know, Leonardo da Vinci. They could be an artist. They treat it like that movie as a movie that explores this perfectly. It was a cartoon, I think Pixar made it, called Ants with a Z at the end of it. And I don't know if anyone here has ever seen it. This worker ant goes to see the ant therapist, and he says, sometimes I don't think I was meant to be a worker ant, or I don't know, I just feel insignificant. And then the buzzer hits, and his therapist goes, well, you're right. See, I think we made an important breakthrough today. He's like, we did? He's like, yeah, you're insignificant. You're finally getting it. It was just one of those things, and that's what society does. It cripples people. There are people that believe that unless you're an athlete or a comedian, then you're not fulfilling some type of weird stereotypical purpose. And You let's say if you walked around and told them you were like an accountant, or you worked with money, or something like that, then they have a hard time believing that, because the way we live in society is, if you do not fit people's perceived perception of you, they become offended by it. How dare you be different? How dare you have dreams? Like, how dare you want something that I don't want? Kind of things. And it's this commie mindset that's being heavily promoted today, via critical race theory and all that other and people get mad at me, but it's the fucking truth. All this shit they're teaching in the schools, it's poisonous. It's poison for the mind. And then when they're not poisoning their minds in the school, they go and they watch these shows, what they call the haves and the have-nots, Empire, or whatever fucking reality show they want to watch. It's they got I don't know what they're called, but they have these shows where some chick picks 1 out of 10 guys, and it's like a whole drama thing. Date this person, then somebody's throwing it's nothing but a reality drama, and this is why people have become desensitized. And it's true, people are desensitized to death. They don't care about life. They feel like every day should just be dramatic, and these are the kinds of people that I had to get away from. And when you spend a long time by yourself, it makes you appreciate life. And that's what the problem is. Instead of, like, life is a blessing. Anyone watching this, if you're alive right now and you don't have any health issues, you're in good shape, you're not missing a limb, then you're living better than most. Because not everybody can say that. You're physically and mentally where you want to be, or even close, then you're doing well. But I've seen people complain like, oh, my dad bought me the wrong color Maserati, or something like that. It's just, life's just so comfortable for some that they have the privilege to complain about the color of the new car they didn't pay for it, and it's really sad that it's like that. And these kinds of people, they never truly live, they just exist. And so when you keep helping people like that, of course they're not going to appreciate it, because they feel entitled to it. So for me, I've always hated entitled people, because I've never had, that kind of perk growing up. I just didn't. And now, I mean, I went from having like essentially nothing to having like a lot of what I have now, and people act like I didn't work for that. People want you to be ashamed of that. I've had people do the same to me. Always, probably in the military. No, my dad was, but me, no. But a lot of people will believe that based purely off my personality. I'm an Army brat.
Yeah. And what's crazy is that, and I'm glad you're talking about standards, but for both genders, it's completely different. Women can be anything that they want to be, and society will accept it. But for men, you're expected to be a 6 foot tall guy making 6 figures or 7 figures or more, be this big, buff, and strong person. And if you're not, you're the worst person in the world. Because from what I've seen, guys that are short, that don't have the looks at all, they get treated like shit. It don't matter if they save somebody from a burning building. They'll get a little bit of praise, but they're not get as much praise as a fucking Superman or a fucking Aquaman. They'll get all the praise. So society wants to determine your own value instead of it letting you determine your own. So that short guy is expected to do the things that a guy that's over 6 feet has muscles and all that can. And everyone has a different role. Instead of society trying to tell everybody to be a certain person, how about that person as an individual? Let them be individuals. But here's the difference, Black Wolf, and shout out to the base Pluto, because he said this in one of his streams. He said that because we live in a country to where you can be what you want to be, but it's only what they tolerate. If that makes sense. For example, if you have conservative views, they don't like that. And I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah.
You can be what you want to be, but it's only what they can tolerate. If that makes sense.
True. I've met people, I kid you not, that there was this scene in the movie that I watched a long time ago. And I was watching it for educational purposes. It was called 12 Years a Slave, and there was this scene, don't know if you ever watched it before, but there was this scene where the racist dude is asking the other guy like, "Are you an N or an engineer?" And those conversations still take place to this day. Only the words have changed, unfortunately. And there are people that think that you have to look a certain way to be intelligent, and that's another thing. A lot of people cannot stand if a hick or really anybody is speaking with some kind of sense because they want to stereotype other people to fit their narrative. And now, I used to make the joke. The reason I mentioned that movie is not to be like a douche or anything like that. It's not my thing. It's just slavery to me just changed forms. Never truly ended. Now we have wage slaves. We have people that work. They have people working for a life that they will most likely never have. And if anybody works in like any kind of big tech company or corporate, you know this. The likelihood of you ever getting promoted is slim to zilch. You have to practically be Superman, as Batman was saying. Everybody loves Superman. Nobody gives a shit about Clark Kent. He's just a journalist. Nobody like Clark Kent could do the exact same. Well, he's the same guy, but I mean Clark Kent could do the exact same feats or say the exact same things as Superman, but since he doesn't have that S on his chest, fuck him. And that's how it's treated. A
Yeah,
character. Oh, I'm sorry.
and I'm sorry about that. Um, it's just like watching like those, when I was young, watching those Disney movies, right? Um, you had the guy in the high school. He wasn't known, right? I'll give you an example. It was a Disney movie called Hatch and Peter, right? He was not known as a good looking guy or anybody. He only got fame because he was the chicken in the suit, right? He was the mascot. So he wasn't known until he became the high school mascot. No one gave a shit about who he was unless he was in that suit. So it's just crazy that you got to be a certain status to be considered as a person. Just be considered as a person. That is fucked up shit. In high school, you got to be on the basketball team. In college, you got to be on the football team. You got to be in a sorority. And fellas, and shout out to everyone that's watching. Subscribe to Blackwolf's channel. I'll put his channel link in the description. And what's crazy is that Black Wolf is that, and I'm gonna go this deep, man. You are not a person. Shout out to you, Derek Chauvin. Yeah, man. Yeah. Shout out to you, brother. If you're not in those groups, Black Wolf, you are not considered a person, yet alone probably a human being to people. You're a nobody. Unless you're in those certain groups, you're nothing. You're a nobody. You're basically just in the background, like in Mortal Kombat, just like someone in the crowd, a nobody. That's some fucked up shit. So I gotta be part of something to matter. But we all know that the average Joe does not matter to society anyway, and that's why we make content to tell men to value themselves because it's just so crazy. Because like you got to bust your ass to be something to be noticed as a person. But if you're not in those groups, then people look at you like, man, he's lame, he's a nobody. I'm like, damn, I thought it was about personality. I thought it was about the person. So it goes both ways for shit. Even guys judge other guys based off their looks too. So both genders are guilty of this shit. Talking about personality, man, he's a cool dude, but like he's only cool if he's part of the team.
Yep.
What if I didn't have that Chevrolet Camaro? Like what if I didn't have that Dodge Charger? What if I just had a regular 1999 Honda Civic? That's paid off and good on gas. Like
That's kind of the thing. I laugh because it's very true. I call it, like I compare it to the whole Joker Batman thing is because like Joker and Batman are practically the same, and most people would disagree, but they're actually two halves of the same damn coin. I mean, take away the money, and Batman could have very easily ended up like that. Very easily. Thankfully, he had money and some level of a freaking support system. Joker didn't have none of that. So Joker's like a just combined version of it. And you're right. Unless you're part of their little clique, you're essentially a nobody. Then probably not even human. Blue
And that's
bloods.
a and that's a black pill truth, Black Wolf. That is a black pill truth. Unless you're in some type of group, you do not matter. And if Derek Chauvin, if you're still watching, like you can confirm that in the chat, like because I know you're in college. If you're not in a certain group, man, type in the chat if you're there. Like if you're not in one of those groups, if you're not on the team, on the sorority, or in a fucking fraternity, you ain't getting nothing. You ain't getting no
Yep.
love. If you're there, like type it in the chat, brother. But yeah, man, you're right because society has taught a lot of people to look at Joker as the villain. But you're right, he was a victim. He was bullied. He worked his ass off. He still didn't get no recognition. Um, it's just like, damn, and he just left out in the cold. Oh, he confirms. I agree. Fact, he just confirmed it. He's in college, by the way, Black Wolf. Shout out to Derek Chauvin.
Hey, Derek,
Um,
be safe. Be safe in colleges because they're gonna try to indoctrinate you into some bullshit. And I'm sure you've already seen it. Via gender
yep.
studies and critical. When it comes to gender studies and critical race theory, you better reject the hell out of that. It's stupid. We live in America, and regardless of whether people want to admit it or not, doesn't matter if anybody's white, black, whatever. We all live in America. We're American. This isn't like some. This isn't China. This isn't fucking Russia or whatever the fuck. We live in America, and so this whole critical race theory is the same as identity politics. It's designed to segregate people and stuff like that. We don't need any more of that shit. We've already fought through that civil rights. We've already been through that shit. We don't need to slay dragons that we've already slayed. We just need to work on what the hell is important. But yeah, don't get locked up with that. Gender studies is some bullshit. And
Yeah,
and
I
yeah, I
hope that
mean,
was.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I was saying I was reading Derek's comment. Yeah, that's how they get you in, man. Like, oh, join our frat. We got women over here. We got beer. Join our frat, and then later they're gonna fucking actually do some
I
some
keep,
some weird shit.
yeah, I keep
That's
my
something.
conservative ideals. Funny things that I live in London County, and lately Fox News has been talking to us about how teachers are pushing the critical race theory. Yeah, man, it's getting crazy out there, folks. Like they really want to divide, a lot of people, man. Because I'm a black man myself. I'm more focused on trying to be better and learn and soak up as much information as possible, and we can all learn from each other. You know what I mean? Iron sharpens iron. So, Derek Sharp, stay focused and, keep your grades up. You graduate, get the job that you've always wanted, get bank and just enjoy, man. Um, but yeah, Black Wolf, it's just a sad reality because when you're first experiencing that, that rejection, back then of not being a part of those groups, it makes you feel like, wow, what am I doing wrong? I'm the problem. You said to yourself, damn, I'm the problem. I'm not doing enough. So it puts more pressure on you to do more just to belong.
Exactly.
But the thing is, though, you're trying to fit into something that is not for you. It's just not for you. It's like a puzzle piece, right, gentlemen? When you have a puzzle set and when you try to force a puzzle piece that doesn't fit, it's gonna fuck up the puzzle. It's gonna break that puzzle piece. So you just fucked it all up. If it's for you, it's for you. If it's not for you, it's not for you. you know, and that's just how it is. Basketball, it wasn't for me. Football, it just wasn't for me. You know, fraternities, college sports just wasn't for me. It's okay. You
No.
know, honestly, I think I'm doing something more productive. I'm not saying that sports isn't, to some people, this is changing their lives, but for me personally, doing this, I don't think I can get any more joy than, not making live streams, try to help brothers out because society has lied to them. They told them that you got to be this type of person. Women can be anything that they want because a lot of celebrities tell women that they're all beautiful, and we have to get to that, Black Wolf, real quick. Okay, so a lot of female celebrities and singers say that all women are beautiful, but on the other hand, you don't hear no male celebrity saying that all men are handsome because we all know that is BS. Not every woman is beautiful. That's a lie, and not every man is handsome. Now I know that they can say, of course, if someone's mother can say, "Well, son, you are handsome to me." Of course, she's going to say that. That's your mother. What is she supposed to say? Like, any comment on that, Black Wolf?
Yeah, it creates an realistic standard. That I remember watching this video on YouTube. This woman was a celebrity and 61 years old. I forget. She played in some, I don't know, if it was Three's Company too, like I don't know, some old TV show. And some person commented that she should lose weight. She got so offended about this, she made a video saying that's the most hurtful thing anyone's ever said to me. And it was just a comment on her losing weight. And all her friends came out and supported her. At This is the kind of society we live in, and it's very strange. At 61 years old, and some would argue even younger, a person shouldn't care that much. That's odd. If I was 60 years old and said, "Hey, Wolf, you're whatever, old wrinkly fat ass, whatever," I would laugh because it doesn't matter to me. I mean, what the hell? I'll be an old man by then. But we live in a soft-skinned society to where it's just like, wow, things that are offensive, people brush it to the side, and things that aren't offensive are blown way out of proportion. And it's just magnified, and it's just like, wow. And that's the thing. You have people running around, dudes running around wearing dresses, trying to teach other men how to be a man. It's clownery,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the issue. And then they'll shame you. The same guy will come up to you and tell you to wear dresses, and you just say, "Well, that's your choice. You chose to wear one. I've chosen not to wear one." And then they'll make fun of you, like, "Oh, he's insecure with his masculinity." You're like, "No, I just don't want to wear a dress." I mean, they respect the fact that I don't want to wear a dress, but I'm using it as an example here. But this is what people do. They act like you have to agree with them and mutilate yourself, either spiritually, socially, whatever, to appease them. I mean, when feminism came along and I didn't even know what the red pill was, I wouldn't say that I was in agreement with it. I was just, okay, women do their own thing, empowered, whatever. It didn't really bother me that much. But it's the fact that they feel the need to stand on a soapbox and then trip us. That is what bothered me. And I don't care if this is offensive. As someone that's worked a lot of shitty jobs, had to do a lot of crappy things, we built and invented everything that women enjoy. Eat those
Yep.
same. I'll give you an example. Women didn't invent the tampon. We did that crap. Same
Yep.
crap with the microwave and all the most of the appliances to make their already easier job easier. And then they turn around and attack people. And what's even worse, even the clothes they wear, from the perfume to the Gucci, whatever, were made by men. Most of the most well-known fashion designers, at least back when I was growing up, they were mostly men.
I think Victoria's Secret was founded by men too. I think founded by gay men or something
Yeah, I
like that.
mean,
Victoria's Secret. But the point was, it was founded by men.
yeah, that's the thing. The point was, it was men. I mean,
But what's crazy, Black Wolf, is, yeah, you're right. But like, women can be anything that they want to be. They'll be accepted either way. But as a man, you gotta live. You gotta live and live a. You gotta live a certain way and be a certain personality. But women can be like big as hell, bad personality, and they still say, "Hey, you do you, girl." But as soon as a guy says like, "Nah," like for example, I want to be a pastor or something like that, they're like, "Nah, that's boring. That's lame." Some of that, for example, because I say it like this: body positivity, right? That basically gives fat chicks the green light to, I can be big as hell, I can eat as much as I want, and I'm still beautiful in my mind. And hey, they have the right to feel that way, but it doesn't deny the fact that it's not healthy. Because let's
yeah.
just keep it a buck, because you're putting pressure on your bones. You know what I mean? Because your bones cannot. It's not normal for your bones to handle all that weight when you're
And their
walking.
heart as well. Their heart can't take all that. The heart got to pump blood, regulate the
It has to
blood
push
throughout
harder. It
your
has to
body.
push harder to pump blood. But society tells them, hey, it's okay to look like that. Like those chicks feel good, but they don't know that they are eating themselves to the grave.
I used to
But
make
here's the funny thing. Black Wolf. There's no body positivity for the men.
Exactly. And I used to make jokes about this back when I used to do stand up. And by the way, people in the comment section, the reason my jokes are the way it is because I did stand up for a brief moment in my 20s. But yeah, I used to make these jokes. And one day I said, man, women are always worried about men being misogynistic when clearly their heart is the most misogynistic thing in all of existence. I mean, it has to pump all that blood to support all that fat, man. If hearts could talk, I mean, be waking up to gotta get a coffee, like God, I gotta pump blood for this bitch again. Damn, she won't get on. She won't eat the celery. She won't go up a stairmaster, and I gotta bust my ass. Just man, it's just one of them freaking things, and that's why it isn't healthy. We as men, we learn discipline no matter what. Even the dumbest men learn discipline because if we, no one praises a man for being 300 pounds. Like no one praises a man for really virtually anything. But if a woman's 300 pounds or just messed up by all counts, people say, "Oh, you go, girl. Do it, girlfriend."
Unless that 300-pound guy has millions of dollars.
Well, yeah, money. Money and
Yeah.
status can mitigate a lot of that. You can be the ugliest dude on the planet, but if you have status, then that will triumph every damn time, just about. I've seen.
But think about it though. Rick Ross, he used to be fat. He lost weight. Fat Joe, the rapper, they're both rappers, right? He was fat, but he lost weight. Think about it. He had the money anyway.
Yeah.
So where's the body positivity for that? But Lizzo's and all the chicks out there that coming out here think it's okay to be overweight, and what's fucked up is that, and again, women can think the way they want, even though it's delusional. They'd be on Tinder saying that I deserve a guy that's in shape, 6 figures, tall, but yet they're fat as hell.
And that's the sad part. How in the hell is someone not going to have a car, be massively out of shape, and then talk crap about the shitty car that someone else has or the shape they're in? And that's the thing. I'm not this cruel, but if I lived in the city, I think I'd be getting arrested every day. I'd be that guy. I'd buy a cheeseburger, take off my shirt, get one of those little lawn chairs, make sure to go to where all the women are cycling out the window and just eat a burger right in front of them. Just because, just for the hell of it. Because that's what women do to us all the time. I once dated a chick that didn't even have a fucking car, talking about my Honda. Wasn't the best car, but at least it was a car. And same
Hondas are
thing,
good
I've had women
vehicles, by
fatter
the
than me.
way. Hondas are good cars, by the way. By the way, people,
Yeah,
I don't know why you talk. Hondas are good cars. Toyotas, like Japanese
it's
cars, are
reliable.
really good. They're really good cars, by the way. Didn't she? Fat man, now the fact that they're fat and they do something about it. About it, women don't. Facts. That's true.
I mean, it's a reliable car. I mean, people look at the Honda and they think it's shit. I mean, it may not be no high end, but damn, it'll get you from point A to point B. I mean,
And that's the point of a vehicle. Like that was the point of transportation. People back in the 1940s wasn't thinking about how when cars first came out, they didn't give a damn about how big the rims are or the color of the paint was. They needed something of convenience for them to go to work and go home. They'll be quicker. They won't be late. They can punch in, go to work, punch in, clock out, and then drive home. It'll be quicker than walking or being on a horse. That was it. But this culture is all about status, looks. How can I fit in with this person? Hey, if you don't agree with this lifestyle, then you're hating, right? That's the culture that we are in. And I gotta be honest with you, Black Wolf, and men are guilty of this. I met some dudes in high school, man. All they did was talk about cars. And I'm not saying cars are bad. I like cars too, but I understand that, when I die, the car can't go to the grave with me. You know what I mean? I just need a car because my car's paid off. I have a Nissan Sentra, good reliable car. It's paid off. You know what I mean? But I don't like fiend over it every day, treating it like it's some kind of guy. But I met some dudes. All they did was talk about cars. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with liking cars, but that's all they, put their value in. Because in the military, right, you be having a lot of young military dudes, Black Wolf, what's up, Jay McTy, what's up, man? They don't get paid that much as E1s. So their whole paycheck is paying that car payment. And we all know why they bought that car is to impress women. Because remember, gentlemen, a lot of the unnecessary shit that men buy and do is to impress women. Because if it wasn't to impress women, why would they buy it?
Exactly. You know what's even funnier? Those same dudes that talk about cars oftentimes don't even know how to maintain the so-called good car that they have. I have met men, they don't know how to change their oil, they don't know how to change the tire. Hell, they don't even know what a radiator fluid goes. Like, damn, like basic things. I'm not expecting people to be a mechanic, but damn, if you're going to talk about cars all the time, at least know how to maintain one. Because if you don't, and you take it to a mechanic and they know this, they're going to rip you off. And so now you're spending even
Mm-hmm.
more money to fix an expensive car that you're already messing up because you can't drive 200 miles an hour or whatever with these cars. Well, you should, but you'll mess up the engine. If you're driving slow in a high-end car all the time, it'll screw. It's just not good. Those cars are built for speed. If you're gonna buy a car like that, you might as well like keep it as a luxury item and just like put it in your house and just to look at it. I mean, might as well.
I'm
Some people actually do that. They buy cars just to look at them.
I'm glad that you mentioned that because you probably know the cabin filter under your glove compartment box. I changed that like last month, right?
Yeah.
And it costs. I ordered the filter on Amazon, $5, right? It was so easy. Now I'm a tall guy. I was sweating bullets, right, gentlemen. I had to like stretch my ass under to replace it. And guess what? It only took me 2 minutes to change it. And guess how much they would have charged me at the dealer if they replaced the cabin filter? It's $80
Yep.
for something that I did. $7, 2 minutes, done. Engine filter, you can do that yourself. Gentlemen, there's some things that you can do yourself. And I will say this, Black Wolf, when I do get my home in a garage, I will buy a car jack, get some tools. So I'm gonna do the stuff necessary that I can do to save money, right? Um, and for example, a car battery, right? Like your key fob, right? It'll cost $30 for them to change the battery, but I can go to Walmart and buy the battery for like $1.50, right? All I need is a credit card to like just slit to open up the damn key fob and just replace the battery, and boom, you're done. You just save yourself $30. Stuff like that. So
You know, even
that's
if a
where
person,
research comes in. That's where research comes in. Go ahead.
exactly, and even if a person was going to pay the 30, this is my advice to them. We have YouTube, we have the internet. There are how-to videos to learn how to do everything. I learned how to lay tile from watching a how-to video. There's how-to videos on everything. You just have to find the right one. And even if some days I look up stuff that I'll probably never do just to gain the information how to do it in case the time ever comes. It may never come, but if it does, at least I know. I mean, if a person doesn't want to read the books, there's audio books. Every time I walk or I hike, I'm always listening to a book. That's another thing people don't do. They don't read. And I notice something a lot with these kids, they act like they know everything, but they don't read. Getting them to read or listen to anything is difficult. And I had a friend that was like that. This is why I had to cut off a lot of my friends. I had a friend who were learning about from a straight up woodsman. Dude was 40, we were 20, and he had an attitude. Told the guy he had a lot to learn about life. Are you done yet? And all. He just had a nasty attitude. So we had to. So the guy just kicked him out. But this is what they do. And now, to this day, that the guy I knew, he works at a janitor at a toy factory or something. Last I checked, and he blames the world. Every door that was open for him, his attitude. And I mention this because attitude is everything. It can open doors, but it can also close doors too. Sometimes it's not even a person's work ethic, it's their attitude. Now, I remember
Mm-hmm.
meeting this dude named Mr. Research. He has his YouTube channel, whatever. He didn't know nothing about me, knew nothing about what I did. And it's another crazy assumption. Dude's age is not that far off of mine, but he's talking to me like I'm a damn teenager and asks me, "What have you done?" Like it was almost like a woman, like, "What have you done lately?" I was like, "I do shit for myself." And that's what was making me angry about him. My blood was coming to a boil, and I was ready to cuss him out because he was talking to me like a politician, and I don't like that kind of crap. He talks to politicians, but I'm not one, so I get angry when people try to come at me from that level to discredit of a little me because whatever rule I mentioned to him and people like him because whatever rule or policy gets passed, it won't be them building it. It'll be dudes like me. and every other dude out there that's going to have to build it. And I remember this long time ago when the government refused to fix the road near my house. A bunch of old dudes came out and they paved it. They got the chalk, got everything else, and they got tired of that shit. That's why I always say, you don't need the government to do everything for you. If you have the
Yeah.
know-how, pave the road. Stick to the way the road hood looks, fix it. Stick to the way your house looks, fix it. There's nothing that says you can't improve what is already there.
You're
The problem
actually
is we
right.
can't do it.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Black Wolf. Like, if like for example, if the neighborhood like came together, like if they see that the roads are shit, right? Okay, how about the community like they put some money up and someone can get some pavement, stuff, whatever, like get some equipment, they can put their monies together and they can fix it. Look online to see how to do. Okay, this is how you do it. Get the equipment, and then boom. But the problem is a lot of people want to, like they expect the government to do it. And a lot of people say, "Oh, well, our taxes are going to the roads." You don't know. You don't know where your money's going to. A lot of people
Exactly.
say that. We don't fucking know. Shit, our fucking money might be going to fucking pedophiles, and we don't fucking know. And I think we are. But the point is that you're so right, man. No, nobody did anything for the roads, but guess what? The community did something. It's just like JFK said, and he was actually before he murdered. He said, "It's not always what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country." And I remember that quote to
Exactly.
this day. Is what you can do. How can you be the change? How can you fix it? Now, again, there's some things that are not in our control, but for some things that are in our control, we can do some things. Like, for example, my car. You know, I changed the cabin filter myself. I changed the engine filter myself. Save money. There's some things that you can do in your control. You just gotta, do research and just make sure that you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with asking for help. You know,
Exactly. I mean, when I don't know something, I find someone that does. I mean, the closest people to me, I got an electrician on one end, a plumber on the other end, and a well ex-hunter on the other one. This dude was really good, but he was like a marksman hunter. Hers like some sniper in the military. But yeah, I mean, whenever I don't know something, I have places like people I can talk to, and then I do learn it, or I watch a how-to video. There is no excuse in this day and age to be that clueless. There are so many avenues to go about it, but people, especially in the city, they want people to just come and and fix shit for them, and oh, give us the money. This, dude, you can give a moron $1 million, and they'll blow through it in a day. I mean, if they don't
Mhm.
respect $10, they'll never respect $100, and so forth. I mean, it's not even the amount; it's the principle of what you do with it. It's how you save and how you spend. People spend their money on things they don't need. Yet people running around carrying around Jordans like they're holy relics or something. For God's sake, just insignificant crap that will have no long-term value. And then when people run around with all this bling and all that, and they flex all their money or lack thereof, I don't care that it increases the likelihood that you will be targeted. I just down.
Yeah, and
I
I'm
go
glad you I'm glad you mentioned Jordans because I'm hearing about young folks saying $15 an hour, $15 an hour. Okay, okay. Let's say I'm making $9 an hour, right? And I can save some money, but I choose to keep buying dumb shit, right? And then and then the news announces, okay, we're gonna make $11 an hour. So it's $11 an hour. So I'm happy, right? So I get $11 an hour, and I keep doing the same shit, keep buying bullshit. Damn, I'm still not making enough. So they raise it up. So it don't matter. The reason why I'm using this for example is because young folks today, like people in general, they cannot be satisfied. Even if they raise it up to $15 an hour, inflation will increase, of course, but they will still want more because it's not always about how much money you make; it's how you handle your money. You
exactly.
know what I mean?
Never
But
spend
just
beyond your means, and that's
that's
why I
why
try to
that's
avoid
why
that.
that's why I'm a minimalist. Like I believe having less is more. I don't need that much shit. Why the hell am I going to buy shit that I'm not even going to use? You know what I mean? Like it's just unnecessary. Just like cars, unless you can afford it. But like there's some dudes out there like like they're making like 60,000 a year, but they want to buy a car that's like 70,000, and they can barely even afford it. I'm like, so you're gonna drain most of your money on that. So that money that you're wasting on that car payment that you barely even drive, you could have used that for investments. You could have used that for an emergency fund. You could have used that to pay your debts off. But again, people are slave to their own pleasure for validation. Because I'll say it like this, gentlemen. I feel like people are slaves to their own entertainment.
Yeah, they
People
are.
are slaves to their own entertainment. I'll say it like that if that makes sense. People are slaves to their own entertainment. But minimalism makes you free from your own entertainment. You find things that can entertain you, like reading books, looking at articles, going for a walk, going for a jog. And that stuff is free. But people got to buy expensive cars. You got to buy all this shit to keep them entertained. But you can only keep them entertained for a certain time, temporary entertainment.
And the funny thing is, like, there are so many ways to keep yourself entertained. I mean, I like music. And music's a good way. I can listen to music all day, man, all day and night. Music is just great. Dance to music, listen to music, paint, do calligraphy. There are so many life
Music
skills that
instruments.
a person can learn.
I want to
Yeah, I
play
used
the piano. I want to play, the trumpet. When I get my own place,
yeah.
because I definitely want to find hobbies that I like. Like buy a rifle and go hunting. Learn how to hunt. Learn how to cut up the animal, clean the animal. Stuff like that. There's so many things that you can do, but
I say do it because, like, when you're focused on your own survival, you won't have time for anything else, really. I mean, and that's a good thing because an idle mind is a dangerous mind sometimes. I mean, people become 10 times more dangerous when they're idling. That's why we have kids running around and, like when I was younger, one of the things I was never stupid enough to do was to sit in front of a liquor store waiting for some shit to happen. That's just the epitome of stupid. I'm gonna be still in the street corner. I'm gonna be still in a liquor store. I mean, bad shit happens all the time and stuff like that. I mean, I value. We as men, we need to value our time, move and act
Mhm.
with purpose. I mean, I used to play a violin for a while. I'm probably terrible at it now. I mean, play the violin, the ocarina, the ten penny whistle, the flute, and almost got to the heart, but I don't think I can reach. Well, hand like finger placement, but still, it's just there are a lot of hobbies that one could pick up, and I picked up different life skills that I thought that I would never pick up. For example, I learned how to make pottery. Last year I was talking about that. I mean, my subscribers can tell you, like, man, Wolf's always complaining about pottery, and like, I kept telling him I was going to learn it, and then later someone's like, well, shut up and learn it. I went off and
You know what, Black
learned
Wolf?
pottery.
That's so true because on my old channel, when I made my New Year's goals, one of the things I said I want to do was, um, you know, invest my money, and I'm doing that now. And you know, and also, people, if you're so bored, why not just take a martial arts class? Learn jujitsu, learn karate, learn taekwondo. Shit, do that. I'd rather brothers spend their money at learning martial arts than spending money on bullshit.
And all this stuff, you can't take it with you. I mean, we don't. Like, I keep trying to tell people all over the world, like, I'm not saying everyone should become a minimalist or anything. I mean, become one if you want to. You don't have to do things the way me and Batman do it, but just, you also don't have to be so heavily entrenched in the shit to where I see people buy expensive cars, don't even know they have to pay off a car note, or they buy a fucking $1 million house and then they gotta pay the bills on that. Never live beyond your means. Everybody can't be rich, but everybody can live well. And a lot of people don't know the difference
Hmm.
between wealth and being rich. There's a big difference between being wealthy and being rich. If you're rich, you can lose it at any point in time, but if you're wealthy, it's more hard for you to lose it. I mean, you have all these, guys like Elon Musk. Elon Musk just drop everything right now. He's gonna be making money till he dies and long after.
Yeah,
People
he
in
can
such a
start working
position.
right now.
Yeah, he can stop working at any point in time. And that's where people want, like, that's where we as men should try to get to. It's not about even how much you make. Take this for example. If I sit back and let's say I know that I'm always going to get 3 or 5 grand a month for doing nothing. Now, to some people, that's not a lot. That's like, oh, so what, 3 or 5 grand, a month for doing nothing? Well, it's a lot when you save it. Put in the
And
savings, invest in the
invest
stocks,
it. Yes.
and invest in the stocks. I mean, invest in crypto. Like, just do whatever's gonna make you money. I mean, a lot of people invest in Dove, a bunch of other, Netflix, Dove, all that shit. There's ways to capitalize on that. Now, I'm not saying gamble all your money away, but I'm saying invest into businesses, invest into something that you care about. It's even better when you work at a place that you invested money into. That's even better because now
Real
you can
estate.
see. Exactly, yeah. Now you can see the actual change on top of the money that you're already investing. So even if you start your own business, that's you investing in your own business. If you invest in your own business, that's good. You're capitalizing on all that. Always have a side hustle or something on the side to get you by, And even if you don't want to start a business, find someone who's just getting off the ground and who knows, they might be big one day. A lot of people didn't think the
And,
internet was going to be a big thing.
and Black Wolf. Some people make money off of streaming video games.
Hmm.
Some people can do that. If you're really good at games and stuff, and you're really good, just make sure that you get make sure you're good at doing it. Make sure you enjoy doing it, but do stuff like that. You know, like shit. You can because I know for me, right? I do cryptocurrency. I do things like that. I get money from that. I'm gonna be learning a new trade pretty soon. There's a lot of men that there's a lot of things that men can do with their time, and and to me, society has taught us that you got to get all the chicks, you got to get all the women, but doing that it keeps you broke. It
Yep.
keeps your time limited because you can drop dead at one fucking instant. Shit, you don't have to get into a car accident to die. You can just fucking pass out, just be gone right there. And then that's what's going on, Black Wolf. Society is teaching men, and I call it false purpose, right? Because I do believe everyone has a purpose in life, but society has their own sense of purpose. Grow up, go to school, go to college, graduate college, get a job, and then get married, and then live a happy life. The end. That's society's false sense of purpose. Versus a real man's purpose is pursuing his goals and his dreams. Doing the things that he loves to do. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So that's what's going on, Black Wolf. The society is teaching men to follow their ways of sense of purpose, the way that they do it. They're saying that we all got to be CEOs, and we all know that not every man's going to be a CEO. Shit, Black Wolf, there are CEOs taking their lives. And that's not really what they wanted to do. But society pressured men that, hey, you got to be the CEO if you want to be the man.
And that's the thing. Like women, of course, bought into this stronger than anybody, and nobody cares if a woman's a CEO. In fact, that's a direct turnoff for a lot of guys. Nobody cares about a woman being a lawyer or a CEO. Women believe that they think that it's all fun and games, and they get to socialize. And no, the more demanding your job, the more stress it's going to put on you. And if you're already not comfortable doing that, you're going to work yourself into an early grave, and
Mm-hmm.
that'll be it. And we as men, we should be working smarter, not harder. You don't like working harder doesn't always mean you're going to get the same praise or kudos that somebody else would get. I've seen women receive God level praise just for metaphorically moving a chair, like essentially doing like the bare minimum. And
Black Wolf, what's crazy? I'm glad you mentioned that, right? And this is why I tell men to be careful when it comes to getting married, right? Because if you marry a chick, that expects you to be this rich guy, that the CEO owning this business, but God daggone well, you cannot handle it, then you should know because let's keep it a buck. A lot of women say that I want a man, that shoots for the stars. You know what I mean? And then it's good to reach goals, but we all know the kind of standards that women want. They want you to make all this damn money. They want you to be the CEO guy that makes 6-7 figures a year. They want you to drive all these fancy cars. So while she's happy, your health is in detriment. Think about it. There are a lot of rich people, and a lot of rich dudes. They're not going to tell you this, especially the ones that are married. They're under a lot of pressure. They got to maintain that fish that they have at home
And that's
and
the
that
thing.
family.
And that's the thing, man. I was on another stream about a day or two ago, and this dude was telling me, he's like, "Well, I got to be a man. I got my fiance here," and it took me a while to I had to keep repeating it to him until he got it. I said, "By value of you having a family, you are vulnerable," and he told me like, "Oh no, no, I'm not." Like, no, no, you are. And he told me, he's like, "Well, if we were getting into a fight, like I would have more of a reason to win that fight because I have a family." And I say, yeah, you're right. You would have more to lose than me, but because I don't have a wife and kids, I'm clearly at the in the advantage point because I know how to hurt you. So I'm at a
Mm-hmm.
clear advantage. I'll always have a greater advantage as that puts me in there, even if you're stronger than me. All someone has to do is just, target one of them. And this is completely, in scenario. I'm just giving him a scenario of this.
You're hitting on the
Children
point, bro. Screech.
children are vulnerable by value of being a child. Women are vulnerable by value of being women. Men do not become vulnerable until we have to take care of them because by ourselves we're good. We can roam the hilltops, do whatever. We're pretty confident at taking care of ourselves. But when you add the family aspect on it, yes, men do become testosterone actually does go down and men do become essentially, you can say physically, metaphorically, spiritually, whatever. We overall, men become weaker when they have that family element to think about. And I
But
remember this
guess,
in dating.
oh my bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh my bad, I was just gonna say I remember this in dating. You can't just. I mean, now your time. Now you have to multitask, which is something men shouldn't have to do. Men shouldn't have to micro multitask. Like it's not something that is typically a masculine trait. We focus on one, two things and we master that. But now, just like women, men have to multitask the moment they have a family. Relegate the wife's stupidity, the child's stupidity, and now you have to and still protect yourself at the same time. There is no protection for us as men, and even less so if you have a family. And that's what I had to hammer in to another YouTuber.
And here's the funny thing, Black Wolf. And I'm so glad we're talking about pressure that a married man has to do to maintain that family because of the pressure is on you. And guess what? Society is looking at you. Are you a true leader? Now let's just keep it the buck. Like society, they don't want no strong men leading their families. They don't.
Exactly.
Their definition of a strong father is basically their children do whatever the hell they want, and of course loving children, but no discipline, no foundation, no structure. But what I'm trying to say is that like society looks at us like, wow, you don't want to get married, then you're not a real man because our manhood by society, gentlemen, is defined whether we have a family or not, wife and kids. But here's the thing, Black Wolf and everyone that's watching. What if that is not your goal? Because a lot of men fall under to the pressure. And also, Black Wolf and everyone, even family members put this pressure on you. Your mother's like, hey, son, when am I going to have grandbabies? I want to have grandbabies. But in your mind, like, I love my mom, but what happened is Black Wolf, they succumb to the pressure because deep inside they don't want to have a family because they understand the risks that are associated with it, especially with it's not really the kids but the damn female, because it's not guaranteed to last. But the thing is that like you're sacrificing, and it all goes back to sacrifice, gentlemen. You're sacrificing your well-being and your dreams for the pleasurement of women, for their enjoyment. So society judges us by whether we have a family or not. Our manhood is defined whether we have a family or not. But in our minds, like, but we don't want that. That's not what's going to make us happy. Now, if some guys want to do it, hey, good luck to them. But for us, we don't want to do that. You see what I'm saying, gentlemen? So and married men and guess what, Black Wolf? You know what married men do? And this is how I can tell they're kind of jealous of me because I don't have to deal with the shit that they have to go through on a daily basis. A nagging wife, kids tearing up their house. So they try to shame me for not getting married. They say, well, a real man gets married. It's that shaming tactic. Because you know what? Because they wish that they were in my position. Yeah, anything to say on that?
That's true. I mean, it's a sense of jealousy because Misery loves company, you know. And
Hmm.
to all the people that are pro relationship, if you're so happy and everybody else is so miserable, why do you have to convince everybody so strongly to be in a relationship since you're so happy? Because they're not. They want you to jump off the cliff just like they did. And because you can't, when you have a family to think about, you can't just get up and go whenever you want to go, or, you have to be realistic. I mean, now your time is more, more scheduled. Single man, we get up, we do what we want to do. We go sleep when we want to, get up when we want to, work when we want to, especially if you work for yourself. I mean, it's a level of freedom. So you're putting a ball and chain around your foot and saying, "Oh, this is an honor. This is a duty." I feel so proud of this. And this is not to say that, I mean, if a person's comfortable with that, then fine, but just at the very least acknowledge it. You have on take by value of having a family, you have decided to make the choice and on taking more responsibility. So there is no you, I, whatever when it comes to your family. And then this is what I have to hammer in to these blue pill dudes. I'm not even trying to give them the red pill anymore. I'm just saying by value of you having a family, you are vulnerable, therefore you have air quote more to lose than me. And they don't really think about this because some of these guys, well, nobody controls me. And then just I asked him this simple question. This is why the guy stopped talking to me. I said, okay, nobody controls you, right? He's like, yeah, that's okay. Do you love your wife? He says, yes. Do you love your children? He also says, yes. I said, so hypothetically speaking, if I capture both of them, I can make you do whatever the hell I want. So do you really control you? I mean, the government already kind of does that anyway. If they affect your family unit, you're going to have to comply or
Hmm.
not play ball with them. So someone controls you, technically, on the
And
books.
actually, shout out to Kingi MGTOW. He actually said that all marriages, especially marriages with the state, is all actually marriages are threesomes because you got the man, the wife, and the government. So it's actually a threesome. Man, I was like,
Yep.
wow, I did not think about that way. Yes, yeah. Subscribe to Kingi MGTOW if y'all know his channel, gentlemen. He made a good point. He was like, yeah, it ain't just a man and a woman. It's a threesome. The man, the woman, and the state. Damn, I did not think about it. And Black Wolf, you are correct. They have way more to lose. And believe it or not, gentlemen, I'm pretty sure like almost half celebrity marriages are kind of fake. They do it for show,
Yep.
in case people didn't know. Some people actually believe that some of these celebrity marriages are real, Black Wolf. It's just so funny. Some of them are just for show, just for the camera.
A vast majority of them and put on as a display. It's the same as when people buy luxury cars. Relationships are much the same way in Hollywood. It's just for show. Like look at who noticed me. Look at who I have on my arm, and all of it's just a bunch of smoke and mirrors mostly. I don't know why
Hmm.
anybody buys into that. It's not real. None of it.
Yes.
And Hollywood to me, I'm trying to trail too far off topic with this, but just know that it's controlled. It has an agenda. You look at these new movies, and you got the alphabet, gang and everything on the rise. And I remember growing up, I didn't have a problem when it was subtle, but now every character has to fit a fucking narrative, and it's just really stupid. I mean, I remember someone telling me, okay, there's gonna be a black Superman, and everybody got mad at me, and I was like, why? I mean, why not make a movie about Blue Marvel? They didn't even know who Blue Marvel was. If they read comic books, to anyone who's read comic books, you would know who Blue Marvel is. If someone wanted to make an SJW movie, he would have been the perfect candidate. He fought for civil rights, or Static Shock. That was their whole bit, and they weren't annoying with
Yeah.
it. They were very realistic about it. But no, we're gonna make Superman black. I
But
mean,
you
just
know, but the main reason why they didn't want Static Shock to be in the character because guess what? He was because they were raised by a single father.
oh yeah, I remember.
That's why.
Static Shock had a
That's
single
why.
father, and they couldn't handle that.
Yeah, it was him, his dad, and his sister,
Yeah, I forgot
and
single
his and,
fathers
and,
can't
and
raise
his
children.
best friend, was white. So Static Shock could not fit the narrative.
Yeah, he was too real for him. But Static Shock would have been perfect. That would have been perfect for what they were trying to do. He went through some race shit. He went through all the social shit. And I remember watching the cartoon. They approached it in a very healthy way. That is the way
Yeah, it
it
was a
should
good
be
show.
approached. It was a really great show. I mean, they approached it in a healthy way. I enjoyed watching it. And they explored all different avenues, and that's the way it should be. It talked about cartoons should be subtle, whatever message they're trying to promote. It shouldn't be just be like rammed in your face, but you should be able to see it, and go, oh, that's how they handled this.
But right
Yeah,
now, like TV shows aren't really about the message anymore. It's
yeah,
basically about acceptance and about you know it's basically about, hey, you got to accept me for who I am. You got to accept me for being three genders. So so the message is gone in cartoons now. It's basically, I say it like this, it's all social engineering now. I mean, they've been
yep.
doing that, but they're going after the children. And unfortunately, a lot of people support this shit, especially women. And I'm gonna say this: there is no other big LGBTQ supporter than the modern female.
Yep.
There is no other big supporter of the LGBTQ than the modern female. And when people ask me, hey, you should get married, and one thing about me, Black Wolf, is that, I do have standards. I am not going to get with a chick that's going to tell me that, hey, you need to go to a pride parade. I'm like, nah, I'm not with that. That's not my thing. And I have the right to say that. But guess what? You're not allowed to say that today. You're not allowed to say that, hey, I'm not with that drag queen stuff. I'm not with that lifestyle. If that's what they want to do, they can do that. But me, I'm not in that. But they get mad at you. Why they keep saying be who you want to be, think the way you want to think. But if I think a certain way, they have a problem with it. I don't have to fucking like nobody, Black Wolf. But society wants to tell you to love everybody, unity. And guess what, Black Wolf? I gotta be honest with you, man. Unity is our biggest downfall. This whole thing that
It's
we all got to accept everybody, that's going to bring us to our knees. Because what's going on is that it's taken away from structure, discipline. It's taken away moral integrity, no
that's
standards.
that's the
That's
thing.
basically what they're saying.
That's the thing. I completely agree with you. When I say acceptance, I don't mean accept everything. I mean a true form of tolerance. Let me give an example. I tolerate the fact that some women want to be with women, some men want to be with, some men want to be with other men. But what I don't tolerate is transgenders teaching like preschoolers about sex. What I don't tolerate is women saying they can be men, men saying they could be women, or having them, go up in the spas and do this weird, like inclusive exclusivity shit and critical race theory. Like we need to have standards. Tolerance doesn't
Hmm.
mean that you like or accept everything, and some things are not acceptable. Like for example, the whole people being like pedos and shit. That should never be acceptable ever. But when you go to these extremely liberal places, they're trying to make that acceptable now because the other crap is
Yeah.
acceptable. You have to draw a line in the sand and go, we tolerate a lot of things, but we won't tolerate this, and that. So you have to. I'm not saying tolerate everything, but you have to draw a line in the sand and go, you know what? We cannot tolerate this anymore. Because when you like tolerating something doesn't mean you accept it. The things that you accept things that are within reason. Do not accept the unreasonable or the irrational. So like it's like this. If somebody wants to run into a fucking wall with wearing a football helmet. Is it stupid? Yes, but that's their prerogative. Maybe get the person help. But if they're teaching others to do that, then yeah, it's a problem because that isn't socially acceptable, nor is it normal to any variant degree. And now they actually are not only hurting themselves, but they're encouraging other people to hurt themselves.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
just
where you
like
need to
that.
draw the line.
Yeah, just like that Tide Pod fools. I remember a couple years ago when I first started joining the service. I'm hearing about Tide Pods. I was like, what? Young people are eating Tide Pods? Like what the fuck? It just shows. You see, that's where that whole thing of accepting for who they are. That basically saying to me, in my opinion, that no standards, no morals. Just do whatever the hell you want. When you say accept me for who I am, okay, by that logic, Black Wolf, when they say accept me for who I am, so I guess it's okay for me to creep on 9-year-old girls and sleep with them. Since they said that accept me for who I am. So guess what, Black Wolf? You gotta accept the fact that I creep on 9-year-old girls. That's what they say. That's what they say, everyone. You got to accept people for who they are. Okay, then I like to rate 9-year-old girls, Blackwolf and everybody. So y'all got to accept me for who I am. That's what they say. That's their logic. No. But guess what? Like this, what they say. No, we didn't mean that. We didn't mean that. But y'all just said accept me for who I am, no matter what I do.
That's the thing. I mean,
I like to creep on 9-year-old girls and have sex with them. You got to accept me for who I am. That's their logic.
Yeah, I mean, that's
this
why
shit is coming to fruition. And
that's why I was never a fan of the gay parades. I mean, I remember when the gay parades came by, everybody was calling me a bigot. It wasn't the fact that they were homo that was pissing me off. What was pissing me off was them doing pelvic thrusts in front of children. People would bring their children to see this. And that shit bothered me. Like, a lot. If I had a child, I would never take them to a gay parade. Ever. I don't even care if it was in passing. I would go home. Like, immediately. That is inappropriate. You should not be exposing yourself to a kid. You shouldn't be exposing yourself like that in public, period. But they're like, oh, accept me for what I am. I mean, so what if someone's a pyromaniac and they just love going into firework factories and just like setting shit off? Better yet, what if someone's like a fucking one of them home or like hate organization? Should we accept them too?
By that logic, because here's the thing, by the logic, they say accept people for who they are, then we might as well, then if y'all saying that means we got to accept the KKK for who they are. We got to accept the Nazis for who they are, right? Because that's what they said. Because by your logic, you say accept people for who they are, then you got to accept a KKK member for who he is. No matter what he does, right? That's the logic that they use, Black Wolf. That's why people shouldn't be saying. That's why people, and also when it comes to words, Black people got to watch the words that they say. And I've been guilty of this too. People on the left, they keep using a lot of words that seem good, but they don't understand the meaning of those words. When we say just accept for who I am, they don't explain it in full detail. Hey, people should love whoever they want. Okay, by you saying that means I can love a 5-year-old girl. Because that's what they said, love whoever you want.
You know, speaking of crazy stuff, I mean, I remember doing a video like there's people that want to make their babies transgender, so now they were selling knitted penises. This is an actual thing online. I kid you not. They're selling gender neutral clothes and knitted penises and like all this other weird shit to put in the diaper to make it appear like the child has a bulge or something. And this, things are bad for men, but they are attacking the children on every level. They're trying to make everybody a woman. Because, well, actually, women are women and men are defective girls, according to them. We're all just defective women.
Because society knows that a strong masculine man with logic and common sense that knows how to lead, that's what scares society. Is men like us, and also people on the panel that's watching, like masculine men, that have standards. We're about logic. We're not perfect, but we understand what the problem is, and we're looking to solve shit. But it just shows that they don't want real men. They just want pussified little boys, soy boys, running shit. And guess what? Look what it did. It messed up the family structure. And look what's going on in the school system. Like throughout my time going to school, Black Wolf, I only had probably 2 male teachers from pre-K to 12th grade. It's like senior year in high school. The majority of my teachers were women. Not saying that female teachers can't teach, but the point is that throughout high school, it's so many women. So young boys in school, they're not getting that male role model. The only male role models that they're probably getting is from their other male classmates, and some of their male classmates, they're probably not good role models either, if not most of them. So schools today is not that many masculine figures in there. It's not that many. Also in colleges too. Because in colleges, and Derek Schaffen, he can probably say this in the chat, they teach leftist propaganda. Most colleges, some don't, but most of them do. And not saying I'm not trying to make this a left or right thing, but I'm just talking about like the immorality that's going on. I think it's very disgusting for a parent to tell their boy that they're a girl and their girl that they're a boy. That's disgusting. That's child abuse to me. Like you're corrupting the child. Don't they understand that transgenders have the highest rate of suicide? They have the highest rate of suicide, Black Wolf.
Yep.
So not only that you're corrupting your child, you're going to confuse them to the point to where they questioning whether they should live or not. It's disgusting.
And it's a type
You're
of
lying to them.
dysmorphia that, because they have as you were saying, they have the highest suicide rate, and even among a lot of people don't. Well, a lot of people should know this. Lesbian relationships have the highest rate of domestic violence across all of the combinations of a
And
relationship.
divorce too. And divorce.
And divorce. And yet, people are saying, oh, so there's more differences between a man and woman, even amongst like fucking different races of people and shit. And people refuse to admit that, but it's the truth. Men will always have more in common with other men. Women will always have more in common with other women. But as far as procreation goes, and this isn't me agreeing with the church or anything, I'm just making a point. A normal relationship is between a man and woman. And this is not I'm not tripping on some conservative stuff. I'm just telling you in general that it's unproductive for two women and two men to be. I mean, they can do what they want. But I'm just saying in general, you can't make the 5%. Like, you can't make the 5% or less the golden rule for everybody. That's the problem. That is where a lot of these problems like come about. If it's like if I walk in a room full of vegans and I'm not a vegan, but I'm hanging out with vegans, doing vegan culture, whatever, and I want everybody to all of a sudden just start eating meat. Oh well, only you eat meat. Okay, well I'm gonna have my meat only bathroom and my meat only meetings, and all the vegans have to show. Oh yeah, if you don't show up, you're a bigot, because my rule should supersede the rule of the rule that everybody else lives by. And that's not normal. That's odd. I mean, why not just go to a place where people eat vegetables and meat, or just go to an all meat eaters thing? I'm just using an example because I've met some pretty messed up vegans. I mean, they believe that if you eat meat, you're a demon or some shit. You might as well be the devil.
Here's my thing with the whole LGBTQ stuff, right? A person can do what they want to do. Stop trying to push this shit down my throat in television commercials, because in June they kept showing so many pride commercials, pride flags, like gay movies, and like on my freaking Xbox Live shit, like on the menu, like gay movies to watch. I'm like, I don't want to see that. Stop trying to put this shit in my face. If that's what they want to do it privately in your bedroom. Stop trying to get me to accept something that I'm not comfortable with. That's the shit that pisses me off. They're trying to tell us how to live our lives, but yet they say, "Hey, be an individual, be who you are." I am being who I am. I'm being a straight heterosexual man, and I'm just not with it. I don't hate nobody. I'm just not with it. That's the way I think. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And stop trying to force children into this shit. They're little kids. They should be learning math, English, and learning how to read, how to be fit. That's the stuff that they should be learning. They shouldn't be learning about 40 genders that doesn't exist. It's two genders. It's either you're a man or a woman. And I don't care if the haters are watching this stream. Well, it used to be misogynistic. Those two people. I don't give a damn. This is about the truth, and the truth is, Black Wolf. The truth is hate speech today.
And that's the thing. The default coming into this world is asexuality, and like to force that on a child. I mean, let the child pick for themselves. I mean, because we all come into the world essentially asexual, but just let the child pick for themselves. Don't, like, no matter what they decide or whatever, don't force that shit onto them. And this is what these people are doing. They're trying to put the boys in dresses, raise them as girls, and the children grow up to be extremely fucked up. They really, really do. I knew a fucking chick like that. She was raised by, two gay parents, and she grew up like, watching lesbian porn or whatever the hell. And then finally she had her encounter with a woman, and they finally did whatever. She said she wanted to kill herself, but she also wanted to kill that woman because she was disgusted by that. So, like, watching something and actually putting it into practice are two entirely different fucking things. So she learned that day she was not a lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
She learned real
Yeah,
quick.
and also I'm gonna end this whole transgender argument. And like they had a TV show. Her name, it was like this. I forgot what this dude's name was, like Jay or something like that. But the point was that like on the show, it was like a car wash, right? And it was about LGBTQ rights. And this dude with the car, he was like, but you're a boy. That's how you're born. And the transgender was like, no, I'm a girl. But we all know Black Wolf, since they like to use so-called science. If you take DNA samples, it'll show that that transgender has X chromosomes, because we all know that X chromosomes is a boy and Y chromosomes is a girl. That's still a boy at the end of the day. It don't matter if you change your body parts. You are still a man. Point blank, period.
Yep. I mean, they try to use science and say, well, there's people that were born both. Yeah, and that's extremely rare. 0.01% rare. I mean,
Yeah.
they're trying to use an anomaly as the freaking as the golden rule. That's the issue with them. But nobody wants to be no, nobody wants to be what they are. Everybody wants to be something else. One day I might, just for the hell of it, tell everybody I'm trans species. Yeah, I got my fang implants, and I'm gonna go full on wolf one day, and yeah, just like live in a pack and just bite people in the neck. Maybe go full Dracula. Who the hell knows? I mean, it's just nobody wants to be themselves anymore. They have a fetish for everything. Everybody want to be the opposite. Men want to be women. Women want to be men. Somebody like I even saw this thing where this dude, I guess, had surgery on his eyes to look more Korean. Like, what the fuck? I mean, it's just. I mean, granted, it's his money. Do what the fuck he wants to do with it, but just why? What does that even solve?
And if you ask him, Black Wolf, he probably wouldn't know a reason. He'll probably say, well, that's what I wanted to do. He probably wouldn't tell you a good reason. If you ask a lot of people that make all these modifications to their body, and if you ask them why, they're not going to give you one reasonable answer. Like, for example, there are a lot of girls out here, Black Wolf, because I don't have tattoos at all. They don't need to cover their body, their whole body in the tattoos. They don't have to do all that to be pretty. There's a lot of pretty girls out here that have tattoos all over their body. They don't need tattoos, bro. Like, they don't.
But the media told me I need to be, smoking, drinking, and tattooed up. That's how to be a real woman.
Yeah, and there's a lot of guys out there that are, that are decent. Not saying that, they're best, but like, but when it comes to the gentleman, again, it comes down to men got to understand. They got to understand their value. They got to find their purpose in life. But the reason why men are turning into women, because they feel like being a man sucks. They don't truly understand the value of a man. And at the end of the day, all comes down to, Black Wolf, from everybody. They don't love themselves. They don't love themselves, and that's what it comes down to. And to be honest with you, Black Wolf, a lot of people in society, they don't love themselves. They don't.
True.
They really don't, because if they did, why do they have to make all these genetic modifications to their bodies if they love themselves? I don't have no tattoos on my body. I don't, and most likely that's what keeps the chicks like not giving me no attention. I don't give a damn. But the thing is, I'm comfortable in my own skin. I'm comfortable, you know, being tall, lanky, lean, wear glasses. This is who I am. I enjoy making content like this, talking to very intelligent brothers like Black Wolf. I love doing this, but I'm not going to change who I am to make society happy. And guess what? It doesn't matter if you changed for them or not, because at the end of the day, if you make all these changes, if you do everything that society says, and if you die, next man up, next woman up. They don't give a
Yep.
damn. if it
It'll be the
changed their
next thing,
standards.
And I had a friend tell me this a long time ago, and you laughed. I used to eat my food outside high school and go and cook my own
Hmm.
stuff and everything. And one day, this guy, he'd come over, hang out all the time and everything. And I know this fucker almost 20 years. He one day said this to me when we were in I think we were in Albertsons at the time. He's like, because I was being indecisive, I know what I wanted to drink. And out of blue, he just goes, I'd like you more if you were normal. I kind of stopped and looked at him.
What is normal?
Yeah, might as well, like who? And he's like me. I was like, dude, and he got mad because I told him, dude, you have a social media account on everything. What's normal about that? That dude was the most socially awkward person in our group. And at that point, I put the drink down. And the dude thought I was gonna seriously help buy him his drink after saying that. I put my drink down. And I said, well, you can get your own drink then, because I'm not helping you with that.
Black
I mean,
Wolf. I'm glad you mentioned this. Is what King and MGTOW said because I was watching his videos today. He said that in his video that the regular person that is asleep, that is a sheep, they're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're doing what they are programmed to do. And I was like, oh shit, that's a good point. The modern day person, male and female, that don't know the information that we know, especially the males, they are doing what they are programmed to do. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're doing what they are programmed to do.
yep.
Programming, social programming. I was like, wow, that totally makes sense. They're doing what they're programmed to do. Like, do you really think like it's normal for us to wake up every day and go to work for 40 years and retire? Like, that's how we were programmed. And if you ask people deep inside, how do they like? Do you really think a normal person really wants to work 40 to 50 years and then retire? Fuck no. But they do it anyway because they've been programmed to, and they expect a check at 65. But with our logical minds, we're like, no, fuck that. We want to get into entrepreneurship. We want to be the owners. We want to be the boss. We want to retire before we're even 40. That's the mindset that we have. But a lot of people want to be a slave to the system because the system because they believe that they are getting a promise from the system, a
Yeah.
false promise. Okay, government, I'll do whatever you say. As long as I do whatever you say, everything will be all right.
I'm with the government. I'm
That's
here to help you. Yep. Everybody's favorite sentence. I'm with the government. I'm here to help you. What could go wrong?
so yeah, man, social programming and all this stuff and real quick, like well, we definitely gotta go back the to the whole marriage thing because government is involved in that too, especially the state. And I talk to a lot of guys like, well, if they say that, but I really want to have a family, I really want to have a wife and kids, and I get that, but they got to understand this is not the environment to do so. I'm not saying that you can't find a good woman. I'm not
But
saying
even
that
if
at
you
all.
do, and I've said the same thing, even if you do, and all the men watching this, even if that's your goal, hell, you don't have to take for us. Let's say you wake up and he's like, I don't believe Batman or Black Wolf. I'm gonna go off and find a. Okay, fine, fine. Just remember this one thing: if you marry her, you are not married to her. You are married to the government. The government is her dad. Her boss is her actual husband, and you're just the guy she fucks. Well, like if she
Boom,
fucks you. That's assuming she
boom.
fucks you, but yeah, that's all
Yep.
it is. You're not securing pussy by getting married. You can like exit that thought out of your mind right now. You are not securing pussy by value of getting married. Maybe back then it was different, and I'm old enough to say yes, it was a little different back then. When I was growing up, you like only thing, and the government didn't have too much of a say. Is, hell, it didn't even matter what you looked like, man. I mean, you could be like as long as you had a car and you weren't an alcoholic or a psycho, that was really the only damn three requirements. If like being a genuinely more or less kind dude would have gotten you far, but now it's just he who is the greatest asshole or something. Gotta catch them all like Pokemon. Gotta catch all them STDs and shit. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
that's the
Yeah.
thing. They don't tell you about this, but if a woman has a high, body count, or hell, even a guy, you don't want to have a high body count just due to the simple fact that 5, 10 years later, hell, we all laugh about this when we see it, movies, social media, ha ha, he got the clap, ha ha, that dude got this, but no, I mean, nobody wants to wake up and it burns when you pee. That's not it's not cool, Just 5 minutes of pleasure isn't worth a lifetime with an incurable disease. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we laugh about it, sure, but the only reason we're laughing is because we either don't want that or we think we can never get it.
And
But
yeah. Black
they
Wolf.
glorify it.
You're right, man. I'm gonna read Derek Sharp's quote. Even if you find the right woman with morals and try to raise your kids right, they'll still turn out bad because society will brainwash your children. Mia Khalifa has strict parents, and look at her. Facts. Look at fucking Katy Perry. Her dad was a fucking preacher, and I had a debate with my dad, Black Wolf, and I love my dad very much. He's a deacon in the church. Because I was telling my dad, I'm not having children because I don't want to bring them to this crappy world. And my son was like, well, if you teach them the Bible and raise them right, then they'll turn out fine. I was like, Dad, it does not work like that. I knew I knew pastors' daughters that were fucking hoes in high school. They were having sex with a lot of dudes, and they were the pastor's daughter. It's so funny how people in the church really believe that just because you raise your children in the church, that they're actually going to fucking turn out to be that way. That is not true. And just like finding, and I'm glad you mentioned find the right woman. Guess what, Black Wolf? Let's say you do find that so-called right woman. How do we know that she won't be an evil bitch the next 5 years in the marriage?
That's the problem. Like now, there's no way to really even tell. Back when I was
Mm.
growing up, it was like I wouldn't say it was easier, but you just kind of knew, because I hadn't dated mostly like I dated a few city women, but it was mostly rural women. Like they didn't. I'm just saying they knew they didn't have a shit ton of options, especially if they knew they were never gonna move. Then they were more. They would try to maintain that relationship more because you were all they really had at that point. But now with the internet and all this shit, like women have far more options. They don't need your validation because they can get that from 1,000 other guys online.
Yes.
They don't
Yes.
like what is saying hi, you're pretty or whatever even mean anymore. I mean, they already get that from 1,000 other dudes via online or just in passing. Women actually like getting catcalled. Don't you ever believe them when they say they don't. The catcalling isn't what bothers them because I guarantee you could see two lesbians holding hands and like they look at it like men construction workers catcalling them and they go, those disgusting fat men, we're lesbians, don't they understand? And if Elon Musk drive up and he say, hey bitches, get in, and they'll look at each other for a moment and go, now we're bisexuals, we're straight again. They'll hop in the
See,
fucking car.
and that's the thing. And that's why I laugh when dudes tell me, and I have family members say, you need to get married, you need to have children. You're lying. You're not going to, you're lying. You're just saying that. You ain't, no, I'm fucking serious. Like, because I'm just going to keep it a buck. The majority of women in modern day, especially in America, they are immoral. And it's not going to work, Black Wolf, because it's only so much that I can tolerate. Like, because if I did get married, she's not having a social media. She's not having no Instagram, no Facebook, no TikTok, no Snapchat. That shit is forbidden in my fucking household. Point blank, period. Now, most women will have a problem with that, but I'm like, why'd you have a problem with that? I'm your husband. The only teaching that you should be getting is from me. Well, why do you
Exactly.
need a social media for? Why do you need that shit for? It's just like Steph Curry, and Steph Curry should have checked his fucking wife on that shit when she said out that, it'll be nice to get attention from other men. I'm like, yo, I'm your fucking husband. You shouldn't be worried about getting other attention from other niggas or men. I'm your husband.
And that's the thing. I
But
mean,
he's letting that shit slide in Oakley Soldier. They just aren't good people. Damn right. Right.
yeah, and that's the issue. I mean, a lot of girls I used to date, man, a lot of them, only thing they had was like a basic fucking brick phone or a fucking cell phone or some shit, or if willing, and maybe a fucking YouTube. And now all these bitches got a TikTok, only whores, all this shit, and that's why, man, I could never see myself dating a woman in her 20s like ever again. I mean, I can't see it. I mean, if the day ever freaking happens, man, you're gonna see YouTube videos of me dressed like Gordon Ramsay, just breaking cell phones every time I walk into the house, screaming
And
and
here's
breaking cell phones.
and here's the thing, Black Wolf. It okay. Let's say that the hoes now in 2021 they're going to the club hoeing it around. Let's say that in 2030 they decide to get right with God and shit. Okay, they're getting right with God, but it doesn't change the fact. It doesn't change the shit that they did. They're still ran through. There's still a lot of demons up in there. Like these chicks are damaged. And if I was Steph Curry, I would have ended the marriage right then and there. I would have went to the Lord and be like, yo, I want to get divorced. And guess what? And guess what, Black Wolf? I already know I'm gonna have to pay anyway because they're in the state of California. I'll pay her half. Okay, here's your money. Now get the fuck out of my life. I'll just keep it straight up like that. But and you know what I've noticed about a lot of dudes on Instagram that have girlfriends? They are constantly. They love taking pictures of their girlfriends. It's
Oh
so
yeah,
funny.
man.
They're taking the pictures, but under those pictures, you see a lot of comments from other dudes. Hey, girl, you got a nice booty. I love them cakes, girl. You're taking her damn picture, and she's getting a lot of compliments. So you're feeding her ego. You're
I have to
feeding.
mention this. I have to mention this because it just seems like I can't go. Like I dislike this motherfucker so much that I have to name drop him even there. But ask Nathaniel. That is the type of dude that I had to typically train to not be socially awkward because they put on a freaking facade. And the thing about it is, and he even made a video like this, taking pictures of some Brazilian chick so she could show other dudes. I mean, never mind the fact she would never date, let alone screw him. But this is the thing. If anybody in the comment section, you want to know what my stoner days were like, or any of that shit, I can tell you right now, it's not it wasn't as cool as people make it out to be. I remember one time I went to one of these parties, and I was just smoking a bowl, wasn't really thinking much about it. Had my drink on, I was talking to some chick around the time, and one of my friends, I don't blame him completely for this, but he ruined it for me. Like we had to up and leave one day because like I got him out of there because about 9 dudes come ready to whoop his ass, and before this happened, some girl went over there and started grinding on his knee. And that she tried to do it with me. I pushed her off, got the hell away from her because I was weird. Wasn't used to that. It was freaking weird. But she did that to my friend. And like 15 minutes later, 9 dudes come out of here ready to whoop his ass, saying that, oh, you slapped her on the ass. So that was a setup. That was a setup, and that happened a lot. When people didn't want you at parties, they would do shit like that, cause drama to get you either beat up or kicked out. And that's the thing. It's drama.
Mm.
Cities are very dramatic. The average person lives in dramatic. And one of the things I don't do anymore is don't ever apologize to them. Just do not ever apologize to them because they take it as a weakness and then they keep trying to escalate the issue. I once apologized to one person that kept trying to go out of their way to confront me via work and all this other stuff. And so that now turned into a physical fight. And then after they get punched, they're screaming, I'm a victim. They weren't a victim. They were the aggressor. And that is how they fight. That is how they've been trained to fight. When they get mad, they can't handle negative stimuli, and they try to ruin your life.
Mm-hmm.
And then these same people wonder, well, why don't MGTOW show their face? That's why. That is why. We aren't worried. Believe me, we're not worried about physical confrontation. Truth be told, most MGTOW could beat the hell out of most blue pillars' asses. Very
Oh
easily.
yeah.
Quite a few dudes to the bodybuilders. They're single, they're bodybuilders. All they do is exercise from sun up to sundown. Some of them work out 5-6 days a week. I don't work out that much, but they do. And I know these blue pillars are not going to go up in the gym fighting those dudes. We all know this. That's the thing. But they say, oh, we're all ugly dudes. No, we're not all ugly dudes. Me, I'm doing quite well. But the thing about it is, we don't want our lives socially fucking ruined. A person doesn't have to punch you or beat you up to ruin your life. All they got to do is shame you. And if they do it well enough, you won't be working that town anymore. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, and what's crazy, while all that drama's going on, women feed off of that shit. And also, gentlemen, in case y'all didn't know, if you look into chicks' Instagram, you see all these dudes in her comment section fighting over her. She's just laughing at them like, wow, these guys are losers. That's what these chicks are saying. The fights in the club that you mentioned, Black Wolf, that girl that was grinding, that helped set him up. She's laughing in pleasure and enjoyment because like I said, in Pluto and Shout to Baseball, he made a video on this. Women love to see men miserable. They love to see men in misery. They love to see men in pain. I don't know what it is, but like it makes them feel good. It really does. Like imagine, because I remember back in high school, sitting alone sometimes, and I'm not afraid to share some stories. I remember sitting alone sometimes. It was probably around freshman year. Like women will still talk shit about me, even though I was sitting alone by myself, just my own business. They will still talk shit about me because it made them feel good to talk about someone when they're already down. You know what I mean? So. This is the reality, and the problem with society is that they don't want to acknowledge this shit. We were judged based on how we looked. But society ignores that shit and says, hey, it's all about personality. Just be the best person that you can be. That's bullshit. It's not about being the best person that you can be. It's about the way you look. It's about what team you're on, what group you're in. That's what really matters. And people say, oh, that's high school stuff. God damn it, Black Wolf, that shit still happens today.
Yep. I think people watch too many Walt Disney movies. I often do a call back to that. There was a lot of red pill. Disney movies are blue pill is all hell, but if you pay close attention, there's red pill moments in them too.
Mm-hmm.
They throw the red pill in there too. You get Aladdin. Aladdin went from a street rat to a prince and to all this other stuff. Just to impress some chick, and when he lost all of that, if that had been a real story, she'd have never picked him, and it'd have been that was his whole appeal, being a fucking prince, true love like my ass in that regard. It doesn't work out that way.
Shrek, and yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. Shrek, for example, I promise to you guys, if Fiona wasn't an ogre either, she would not even look Shrek's way. Whether he rescued her or not, now he didn't give a fuck about her. He just wanted to get his swamp back. And and I appreciate him not being the simp. Of course, he married her. But if she wasn't an ogre like him, she would not look his way.
Yep.
She would not look his way. Now she didn't want to marry Farquaad either. I mean, because he was short, he wasn't that guy. But the point is that like certain situations, you gotta bust your ass to get a girl to even notice you. That's not even guaranteed.
That's why I liked two things I liked about that movie. One, the donkey and the dragon, that was about as real as a relationship was ever gonna get, because they had no real reason to be together. That shit just happened out of nowhere. That was probably the most surprising relationship out of anything, but I could kind of see the chemistry. But the other thing I laughed about was, Shrek goes to save her, and she's like, you didn't slay the dragon? And he's like, no, because everybody else that tried to do that died. Why would I do that? They all ended up dead. Like, what the fuck? Why am I going to do that? Just that's the thing, and nobody wants to do that. I remember
Shrek was red pill. He was.
Yeah, he was very red pill.
Actually, he was black pill because the town hated him because the way he looked. And and you got to give Shrek credit. He admitted that he was an ugly guy. Now, it was fucked up the way they treated him, but he admitted that he was ugly. Like, he accepted it. You know what I mean?
And he lived his life. I mean, I relate in the aspect that where, you wake up, and that's kind of how it was for me, like when city, I'm going to just say it, when city people move up in rural areas, it's just like, damn, it's a pain in the ass sometimes. It's just, remember when Shrek came, I was like, why is everybody in my swamp? What the hell? Like, kind of thing, people moving in his house, locking him out of the door, and now he has to go and get these people out of his fucking swamp. And that was the issue. They shouldn't even been up in there. That's his domain. That's his shit. You can't even have your own shit anymore. And
he wasn't bothering nobody. Because the thing is, like, he wasn't bothering people, so why are they bothering him? You know what I mean? It's just like the thing is, like, even if you want to get off grid, people always still want to fuck with you. Mm-hmm. People always want you to be involved. They always want to involve you into shit that you don't want to be involved in. That's the thing about society. Even though you want to be alone, they try to fuck with you anyway. I'm like, yo, I'm not with that. I'd rather be alone. I don't fuck with nobody. But they still want to fuck with you. Even if you do society a favor, you see, you're doing society a favor by leaving them alone, not messing with nobody. But even if you do that, they still want to fuck with you.
And that's the problem. And then they try to. The worst part about it is they act like they're the victim. The kingdom would tell you that they're the victim. Like, oh, this ogre came here, and it's like, motherfucker, you would have never even have known of my existence if you weren't fucking with me. You would have never even known about me. I would have never even known about this place. I would have probably never known this place existed until they started just messing with people. So they create these fucking problems. I mean, Shrek. Even when Shrek drank that potion, him and Donkey became all beautiful and everything. His personality did not change, and he was still. I mean, society will find a reason to fucking hate you. Me, I'm a relatively good-looking dude, but it's just it didn't stop the hate, man. It actually made it worse on some case scenarios. Like, what are you, a rainbow? You're not screwing everything with a pulse. No, I don't freaking need to. I mean, I want to do a call back to. You remember that guy that came in and one stream? It's like, I'm not mad at him. I'm not trying to throw shade at him, but it's just like, hey, what do you mean? You guys aren't all about the pussy? Like, no, we're talking about self-help. And then he got all quiet. Like, what the fuck? Because it just kind of took. I don't know why he did that, but it just kind of took the fight out of him because he just needed to pay attention to what we were saying.
Oh, he's back.
Ice Cactus. I hate it when city people or Californians moving to my area. Shit is annoying. Yeah, man. Like the same people that call you hateful and this and that. Okay, cool. I'll just go in my space, but then they try to invade your space. I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Leave me alone.
That's the thing. If people are about self-improvement, I'll talk to anybody. I don't hold grudges. I'm not mad at anyone. It's just listen to what's going on and understand. And this is why we just want to help men. That's it. We want to help people get to a better place. That's all. We're not here to fight. We're not here to create a war. We just want to live in peace. And you have to be, you don't have to be on the same page, but just kind of be in the same book. That would be nice. Like, be within the same book of what's going on. Old me, I'm not gonna lie, old me, we used to just go after my haters or anybody that would defect, but now it's just like, okay, you disagree with me, you don't like me. Okay, tell me why. Tell me why, and then I've just become calm with this. I'm getting old, and I know it.
It's becoming a problem, Black Wolf, because, like, again, now Shrek did what he had to do to get his swamp back, and I totally get him. But if it was like a regular thing, I'm not rescuing no fucking chick in a tower. I'm not gonna risk my life to slay a dragon for a bitch. I'm not doing that. I don't care if you call me a pussy. I don't care. Like, wow, you're harsh. I don't give a fuck. I'm not. I am not gonna wear some fucking armor and go to a tower, slay a dragon, and go save a bitch and go and cross a bridge full of lava. Y'all can kiss my ass.
When I used to do stand up, I had this joke. And a lot of people didn't like this joke, but I walk up on stage, it's like, I used to read about these nursery rhymes. They tell you these stories. Go save the princess in the castle. And I said, yeah, I thought about that once. I made a realistic version of that story. Guy goes off the castle to save this princess, this tower. He comes back, and the villager and the people and the guy who's still on the cross like, what? Why are you back? What had happened? Why are you singed and burnt up and got like cuts and bruises all over you? He's like, well, I went over there to save the princess, and this is what happened to me. There was fire, there was cuts and flying around and screaming and everything. And they said, so you fought the dragon? He's like, no, the dragon was cool. There was that princess. Gotta get the fuck away from me.
Now, if they paid me $1 billion, I'll do it. But here's the catch: I'm not slaying no dragon. I ain't doing that.
Yeah, there's no pussy in this world. There is no pussy on this planet, and you're listening to a guy that's dated just about every background of woman. The pussy does not pussy does not increase in value because of your fucking, like, whatever. Pussy is pussy, and don't die over it. Just don't. For love of God, don't.
And think about all those men that died, try to save her, right? They could have been generally successful men. They probably could have been rich. They probably could have had their own kingdoms. But again, gentlemen, it all goes back to sacrifice. Society wants us men to sacrifice our lives, our well-being, our resources for their entertainment, for their happiness. And guess what, Black Wolf and everybody? No one is entitled to make you happy. And we hear that shit, but like society believes that women are entitled to happiness, but we're not. They always say happy wife, happy life. I'm like, bro, that's bullshit. So I got to be miserable. She has to be happy. So you mean to tell me if she's happy, then I'm going to be happy? That's not how it should work. Now, let's be realistic in a relationship and marriage. One partner's going to be happy. The other one's going to be miserable. Now, let's just keep it a buck. The majority of the time, the men choose to sacrifice. Time not hanging out with their friends, but the wife can go hang out with her friends. So you got to watch the child all the time. You got to make sure that her bath is ready. You got to do all the sacrifice, even though you work most of the hours at the job.
And that's the thing. Your time is no longer your own. And since these women are lazier, and yes, I'm going to say this. I could tell you stories about the women I've known, dated, been around. They're lazy, and they spend all day at home. They can't cook a meal. They cook something even the house dog wouldn't even freaking eat. And that's the thing. You got to work. Now you got to do double the freaking workload. And that's the thing. Like everybody wants to live the life of a Saiyan. Well, the problem is we can't live like that anymore. The Saiyans had a sense of order. We can't. I mean, like crap. If my dad's Vegeta and my mom's Bulma, and I'm Trunks over here doing my own thing, I can't live the way they used to live. I mean, that was their dynamic. Those days are over. We have to live in the future, and it just so happens women have decided to turn themselves to Cell, and you can't listen to these simps because they're like Bobbity trying to turn you into Boo. I mean, you can't listen to them.
Oh shit! Damn. Yo, that's a good analogy, brother. Ice Cactus, you're right. You and Joe were right, man. Joe said they want you to build a castle and slay 3 dragons just to get some ass. Shit stupid as fuck. And guess what, Joe the Philosopher? Even if you do that, you may not get ass at all. There are married men right now that make 6 figures. They're doing all this shit, working all these countless hours at their job, stress, and they still don't get pussy. So, shit. You may not even get a fucking kiss. Sad part is that men have taken their own propensity to be extraordinary for granted. We've been trained not to marvel at our own magnificence. Yeah, man, like they only want us to reach our full potential. Only if it benefits them, not if it benefits us.
I'm using a lot of DBZ references, but I swear sometimes being a MGTOW is like being a MGTOW. To those who don't know, I swear it's like being one of the damn angels from DBZ Soup, or maybe even a fucking Supreme Kai. I get guys walk up to me, I'll never gain my true potential unless I have a wife or kids, and the only thing I do is I go, okay, here's the poacher earrings, or here's the Z sword, go off and train for 2 years, and if you still feel that way, let me know. Just take this, do whatever the fuck you want with it. It's just weird. Like, we walk by. Because once you understand male and female nature, sometimes I just walk by and I see stuff. It's like watching a messed up TV show. I'll see everything that's wrong with it, and I don't even say anything. And then the same person struggling in the relationship will come over and go, well, I don't understand what the problem is. Well, if I was nice and everything. And then they look at me crazy when I tell them this. Well, you ever stop to think that maybe you two just aren't compatible? I mean, maybe you.
I just observe now. When you take the red pill and the black pill, or go MGTOW monk, I just observe, the stuff that we talk about. And I'm like, this confirms what I've been saying. Because I go to the grocery store, I see the husband and wife arguing over dumb shit. The kids are acting up, running around the store, acting up. I like, we're basically just we're just like observing our surroundings now, because we kind of know the information already. We're just kind of like observing and just confirming what we've been talking about. And it's just like, I'm so glad those situations happen, because I say to myself, thank God that I know what I know. Because we may not be rich in money, Jordan, but we are rich in knowledge. Because think about it, out of 8 billion people, only
0.0000000. I say about 1% of us know this shit. And I'm talking about out of the whole planet. We are rich in knowledge. I think being rich, I see a man that's rich in knowledge is way more powerful than a man rich with money. That's just, I totally believe that. I totally believe that. A man that is rich in knowledge is better than a man rich in money.
And that's true. I
Because
mean,
you can have all the money that you want, but if you don't have the knowledge and if you don't have the wisdom, then it doesn't really matter. You're just a guy with a lot of money. You don't know what the fuck to do with it. And then you're depressed and you're like, damn, I don't know what to do with it. So you just take your life. What do you think about that, Black Wolf?
it's very true. This is why I tell men to stop trying to measure up to society's bullshit standards and measure up to other men. I mean, they're not in competition. One of the funniest things is when you have to tell another man that they are not in competition with you, or you don't view them as competition, and that's not a diss. That's not, many will take it as a diss, but that's not a diss. In order for two men to be in competition, there would have to be some type of reward, which is a reward that I don't want. And so, if the reward is city pussy or whatever, then I'm not out there trying to do that. And I've had to explain this to even women. Women will cuss me out and go, "What do you mean you don't want to date? What are you gay or whatever?" And to the women to do this, I had a woman do this shit to me, and I said, "Well, you do realize, in order for me to be that would still require for me to want a relationship, which I just said I don't want. So that doesn't make any sense." And you see, this is the foolishness with them. It's the shaming, it's the foolishness. People assume that just because they want something, that you must obviously want it as well. And abstaining for even a year is good. I'm not telling people to go full on monk if you can't. I'm saying in general, if your whole desire in life is to get laid, as someone who's hung around stoners, goths, skateboarders, and been up and in and out of the church and stuff, it's not as complicated as the PUAs make it out to seem. In fact, the PUAs are the biggest losers you'll ever meet. They're very socially awkward. And if you practice anything they tell you to do, you're going to get beat up, arrested, or whatever. Bad things are going to happen. You're going to get fleeced, scammed. It is not an ideology to endorse. And as cliche as this is, you really just need to be yourself, because at some point people are going to see the real you anyway. So might as well focus on yourself, become a better you, be somebody that you can be proud of. Not the world,
Damn right.
just you. And this is
Damn right. And Black Wolf, I saw, and we gotta talk about this. I saw your video about that whole we definitely gotta talk about this. Excuse me. The whole Tinder experiment in New York. Because I watched your video and your take on that, and you narrated that shit pretty well. When I saw that video, and I know it happened a couple years ago, and if you guys are wondering, it was basically this chick and this guy. They basically set up this whole thing in like New York. They tried to do like a real life Tinder experiment, right? So this woman messaged a lot of guys, like thousands of guys, to show up in the middle of somewhere in New York to compete for her. She was rejecting them and shit. And Black Wolf, from what I've saw from that video, it's really sad. You know what I said, Black Wolf, when I saw your video and I saw all those simps out there? I said, those guys don't know their value.
Yeah, they really don't. I mean, they were doing push-ups and running around, and people treat us like the bad guys. I honestly felt like the air conditioner from the toaster, because every time we say something, they get pissed. But it's the truth.
And Black Wolf, I truly believe if they had a Coliseum event, like back in the old days, I truly believe if that chick say, "Hey, if y'all want to get with me, y'all got to kill each other for me, and the last one standing will date me." I truly believe that those dudes, they will kill each other off for her. I truly believe that. That's how bad it is. Looking at their body language, the way that they were moving, the way they were acting, I truly believe, Black Wolf, they will fight each other to the death for that chick. And she's not even a 7, 8, or 9, or 10. She was average.
I truly believe they would have killed each other for her. What do you think? Let's just look at them, bro. Like they were doing push-ups, like you said, they were running. I'm like, I believe if all of them had guns, they would blow each other's heads off for her.
Yep. Every woman wants a man to fight for her like Helen of Troy. It's like, what the hell?
This is how you know that. And guess what, Black Wolf? After she rejected most of them, most of those dudes were crying. They were crying like little babies. I'm not saying that's bad for men to cry, but the fact is, they're crying over a bitch that's not even all that. That's the fact, man. Like, they were crying, they were tearing up. And I give credit to that one dude now because that security guard attacked him, and that was way unnecessary. But you saw the video too because you made it, right? He was like, yo, this shit's a scam. He called that shit out. He was like, yo, this is fucked up. But security, threw him out, and man, Black Wolf, I know it was a couple years ago, but that's troubling. And this is New York. This is New York, but it's not surprising because New York, I'm not trying to funny, but I was born there. I was born in Brooklyn, but in the city of New York, there's a lot of soy boys there, a bunch of simps. They're just
and the problem is they don't have any male direction, and so when they meet people, and I'm gonna say this right now, if
most of them probably came from single mother homes, my bad,
and that's why they don't know how to They don't know how to communicate with anybody. I mean, if you're a man and you don't know how to communicate with other men, how in the hell can you then say, oh, all the women love me? How the hell is that even possible? You can't even communicate with those of the same damn gender as you. That's odd. Anytime you manage to be closer to women collectively than you are dudes, that's weird. And I mean this, for example, I don't go to women and talk about philosophy because I know it's pointless for the most part. I don't talk to them about, the object of life and stuff like that because you're not going to get what you want out of it. The only thing they're going to do is nod and parrot you or parrot another man. Granted, some of them have the ability to, perceive it, but collectively they do not. You have men raised by single mothers trying to get from a woman what they would typically get from a father figure or maybe an older brother, and it doesn't work. It creates a false image of yourself and a false image of other men to where you expect other men to adhere to a false image that you can't even live up to because that is what you've been taught that all men should do. And this is why I cannot stand modern culture. I can't stand the average modern person. It may not be all of them, but if I had to live in a place like New York or LA, I would have honestly killed myself. I can't live like that. It's terrible.
It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Those young guys out there, because I know, because if I had a son and he went to some shit like that, knowing the way that I taught him, I would have smacked him upside his head. Like, boy, what the hell are you doing over there? You know your value as a man. You shouldn't have to compete for no bitch. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing, but I'm pretty sure their moms probably propped them up for this shit, Black Wolf. They're single mothers. They probably what they probably did, Black Wolf? Those dudes' mothers probably gave them some bullshit advice. Hey, just treat her nice, open the doors for her, just treat her with respect. But guess what? That shit didn't matter because she was judging them by their looks. And she didn't have no remorse about it because they asked her, because I know y'all saw the video, they asked her, do you feel bad about what happened? She didn't even say yes or no. She just entirely ignored the question, did she feel bad? She didn't feel bad, Black Wolf.
Yeah, she didn't even care. She was actually glad. I think she was trying to fight back a fucking smile. I mean, like, what the hell? And this is what they do. I had a friend tell me this one time, well, Black Wolf ain't got to worry about nothing. He's a tall dude, women like him. I'm like, yeah, but if a woman or a person doesn't respect me, then I don't care about their Google eyes or whatever they're doing. I focus. Whenever you say, hey, Black Wolf, this needs to be fixed. You have a job to do. I don't care if some chick's flirting with me. I'm going to keep my nose to the grindstone. My goal is firmly on the mission. It is on the job at hand. Have a sense of professionalism when you do these things. And a lot of people don't even want to consider the fact that maybe those two women like, oh, well, that guy's our type. Well, maybe they're not my type. Anybody ever consider that? Maybe I want a tall woman and not a fat woman. But this is what these bitches do. They think that by value of them showing interest in you, you have to automatically show interest in them. They never want to look past the fact that maybe that they are not the preferred type of woman for you. So
Black
women get
Wolf.
a choice and we don't. Remember that.
Yeah, you're right. Let's say they reversed it, and we know they said in the video. Let's say if a guy got thousands of women to come out and say, "Hey, come meet me here," and then I say, let's say if it was me, right? I'm the one that says, "Hey, come meet me out there." And there's like thousands of bitches, right? I'm in line saying, "Nah, you're too fat. Nah, too many pimples on your face. Nah, your hair is too short. Nah, you look like a dude, bro." The news will go fucking insane. Them bitches, there'll be pitchforks and torches and those pussy hat bitches coming out saying misogyny is not tolerated. Some shit like that, bro. They will get on my ass for that, but it's okay for them to do it. And all those guys,
Exactly.
unfortunately, they get their hearts broken. They get disappointed. And you know what's crazy, Black Wolf? Some of those dudes probably took off of work just to meet this bitch. Probably risk losing their jobs for that bitch. This is fucking insane. I don't want nobody telling me that the men only care about themselves. We got men out there, they risk their lives. They're willing to risk their jobs. They're willing to sell their freaking car for a bitch's happiness. He's willing to give everything, even his own prized possessions as a child for a woman's happiness. I don't want nobody telling me that most men are selfish, especially these chicks out here, saying there's no good men out there. That's bullshit. It's bullshit.
And that's the thing, I wish I could find this scene, but in Batman Beyond, Bruce Wayne told Terry the most red pill thing, one of the most red pill things probably ever animated in a cartoon. Terry goes, when you were, Bruce, when you were young, you must have had women throwing themselves at you, just, throwing themselves at your feet and everything. And he's like, how'd you handle that? And Bruce just straight dead face looked at him like, yeah, they did, and I just walked over them, just stepped over, just kept doing what I was doing. He just did not care. That was the thing, did what I wanted to do and just went on my merry way. People need to develop the Bruce Wayne attitude. I mean, and nobody really told, well, Bruce Wayne was rich or whatever. Like, ignoring all of that, his attitude is what kept people from messing with him. And even in old age, people didn't want to mess with Bruce Wayne because he had that cane and he was messing people up.
He didn't really care about the money. He really didn't give a fuck about all that shit. He just wanted revenge. That's all he wanted. Because criminals, like a criminal killed his parents, so he was like, man, I gotta stop these motherfuckers. Derek Chauvin, exactly, a chubby chick I'm not even into, just wrapped her arms around me out of nowhere. But if we did that to a female, that would be sexual assault. That would be harassment.
Yep.
And women say that men get away easy in the system. What? Imagine if I just randomly, wrap my arms around a chick. She don't even know who I am. That's sexual harassment. And she might say it's assault. But of course, women can do it. That's where we are at, gentlemen. The social programming is there. And what's really fucked up, Black Wolf, the people that suffer the most, because it's not going to be us that suffer, Black Wolf, because we know the information. It's not going to be Simps that suffer the most either. It's going to be the children. The young people growing up, people that have nieces and nephews, they're going to suffer the most. The Simps, it's up to them to whether they wake up or not, because the information's out there. If they don't want to wake up, hey, it's on them. But the children are going to suffer the most, gentlemen. The children.
Exactly. That's the thing. I don't know if this clip is even playable, but I have a clip that's perfect for this, because whenever anybody comes to me for help of any kind, I'm more or less willing to do that. Especially if it's another guy, I'm like, okay, this dude's down on his luck, screw it. I'll try to analyze the situation, even if it's new, to the best of my ability. But sometimes you get guys, even sometimes the manosphere, they just come out of the woodwork. They just come a fighting and everything. It's like, dude, it's not about who's better or who's whatever. It's about us helping one another. And even if it's your goal to just get pussy, still fine. You don't have to hurt other men to do that. I grew up, I had friends that would shit on me because they believed it used to give them brownie points with women. It doesn't. And let me prove this right now. If your best friend is an idiot, and let's say you're talking to a woman, your best friend's an air quote idiot, and you meet this woman, she doesn't know you, or maybe she knows him and doesn't know you, but regardless, you're just talking shit about your friend. Oh, Frank's a dumbass, Frank's this, he's that, he's an idiot. Well, now she's gonna think you're an idiot because why would you hang out around that person all the time unless you were also a moron? You see, that's the thing. So they're not putting themselves in a good position. They're just being socially awkward. It doesn't make them better. And I hate that. And then they start fighting with you because you're fighting over your skill and ability and what you know, and they're fighting you because they think it impresses women. If I go, oh, let me take down this guy over here for whatever reason, make him look like shit, because then maybe the women will like me more. And this is the same guy that you will ultimately need help from. That's like going up to your mechanic or electrician or something, and when you're in front of women and shitting on them, and meanwhile you don't possess that skill, but you're fighting him over who's a good person. Let's say you win, you still lose, because now even when bitches are gone, you still have to cross that bridge, and you still have to deal with that other guy. So you just shot yourself in the foot for no reason.
Yep.
And that's what I didn't like about the city. When you live in a rural area, I'm not saying that we don't get pissed off at one another, but we acknowledge the skill and value in one another. Hell, even if somebody's a hardcore, like a mean spirit, hateful motherfucker, if you do good work, they will acknowledge that, especially another man.
Mm-hmm.
They will acknowledge that. They have no choice. They can hate your guts, but if you do good work, then you'll get the nod. Women won't do that for you. They never will. They view you as a walking, talking ATM. And men don't want to accept that fact. And if you wife one up, pray to God you didn't get one of these feminist bitches. But if you go over there, you date one, wife them up, that's how they view it. For better or worse, you're there to serve as their means of protection. It goes from the family protecting a woman to you protecting a woman. When a woman is a creature that needs constant supervision. And if you don't believe me, look at the way single mothers treat their children. Look at how crazy they act all over society. It's mind numbing. And you can't even say shit to them either, because you'll get shamed into oblivion or have some dude fight you. A woman could be backhanding her child right now. You go, hey, stop doing that. Some white knight or something will come out ready to kill you.
Yep. But the
It's
funny thing
stupid.
is that if you're a father and you backhand your child, everybody will be after you. But if the single mother did it, then she gets a pass. And that's what's going on. And the thing is that we cannot deny that this shit doesn't exist. There is such a double standard between both genders. Women can get away with almost everything. That's why me as a MGTOW monk, I stay the hell away, because I don't want to put myself in situations that can get me into trouble or that can cause unnecessary drama. Because believe it or not, gentlemen, women, they love drama. They love to see men in misery and in pain. And the fact that us two, Black Wolf, that we're MGTOW monks, the fact that we're MGTOW monks, we don't want to participate in the game. The women, they hate us for that, because we don't want, because we're like, nah, we're out. They're not worth competing for. So they get upset at us. So they try to start something, shaming tactics.
And that's why I get on men when they try to fight us. I mean, I wasn't casting shade at the earlier guy, but I experienced it so much. I experienced men fighting us so much over nothing, to the point where it's like, damn it. And it's not his fault. Honestly, it's not his fault. It's not anyone's fault. It's the fact that we live in a society to where we are bred and conditioned to defend a woman no matter what. I've had guys stop just short of practically wanting to kill me, regardless of whether I was bigger than them or stronger than them or not, simply because at the mere suggestion that I could say the woman isn't perfect. You have people, what Jessica's imperfect? I want to fight about it? Like, what the fuck? Like, God, like, wow. And that's the freaking thing. Women love this because that's how they infiltrate our ranks. If they can't infiltrate our ranks, they'll send someone to do it. Sometimes these dudes will volunteer to do it. This is why we as men, we can't have nice things. We just cannot have nice things
We can't.
because of this.
Yeah, and every time men got something going on good, motherfuckers always want to invite the bitches and shit. Like, look at the manosphere. The manosphere was doing well until they invited bitches into it, which I don't know why they did it. And now look at it. It's a mess. And a lot of men can't even get along. That's what was going on.
And that's the issue. I mean, I posted a link in the private chat. I don't know if you could share this clip. I mean, it's an old Teen Titans clip. I think it should be, for the most part, safe. It's like early 2000s, I believe. But this is...
I'm going to share it in the chat.
Okay. But yeah, that link shows how I feel about the whole damn thing. It's not about who's better. Like, maybe they're better than me. I don't freaking know. It's not about who's better. It's about just living a comfortable freaking life. That's all. That's all there is to it. And then I don't know how to say his name, but like I wish Fanta, whatever the fuck, I wish him the best. I want the best for him. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's younger than me. I want the best for him. I want the best for everybody. But we cannot get there if we're at each other's fucking throats all the fucking time.
Yeah, I don't know why dudes are attacking each other now. Here's the thing. The dating coaches, I don't hate them at all. It's nothing of even dislike. I just don't agree with the fact that they're leading a lot of young men that don't know what the hell they're doing down to a dark road to where they might get embarrassed, they might get hurt, or they might even get killed. There's some dudes out here, these dating coaches saying code approach, code approach. Okay, you tell me the code approach. So what if I code approach the wrong girl and her boyfriend comes out of the blue with a gun pointed at me? He's like, yo, you talking to my girl? Pop, I'm dead. Is that dating coach is that POA gonna be responsible for my death? Because I did exactly what he said. Just code approach, bro. It's a numbers game, bro. Do I hate the dating coaches? No. Do I dislike them? No. But the fact is, they are leading men down to a dark road, to where they might be depressed, hurt, or even get killed. Why are you telling these dudes to play a game that's rigged? The average guy that is over now, China Tyrone, I can't say nothing to them because they get chicks regardless. I'm not talking about them, but the fact is, Black Wolf, most average dudes, they're just not that guy. I'm not that guy. I accept it. Did I have success? Yes, but it doesn't make sense to me. Plus, they're charging these dudes a lot of money for this bullshit. These women are not worth approaching, Black Wolf. That's the thing. You're charging dudes $500, $1,000 to learn how to approach every woman that they see, that they find attractive. And most of these chicks are ran through. And most of these chicks might set him up for his death, for him to get robbed.
That's the thing. You know, women, a lot of men don't want to acknowledge this, but nowadays, if a woman wants to get rid of you, she has 1,000 different ways to do that. Just not like she can go down she can play the slow lottery and just take all your shit, or just get somebody to take you out. There have been women that have hired hitmen. There's TV shows glorifying this, by the way. You know how to catch a criminal, predator, whatever. There are shows where a woman will be in a car. Yeah, the woman was in a car with a cop that she thought was a hitman trying to get her husband killed, paying to get her husband killed. And no one says anything about it. Everyone thinks it's like, oh, you know, she's tired of him.
Dennis G, I'm a virgin at 25 is over. Black Wolf, do you want to answer that one?
Sure thing.
He's in the Chicago area, by the way. And shout out to you, Dennis G.
Okay, well, I'll answer that, Dennis G. Get the hell out of Chicago. It's not a place for any type of, you know, relationship that you're looking for. And 25, dude, you're still young, man. I'm in my freaking 30s, man. You're still young. And if sex, I mean, there's no age limit for sex. I mean, but if you really got to have it that badly, then I know a lot of people don't like it when I say this, but I'm gonna say it. And if it comes off as weird, fuck it. I'm saying it anyway. You can go get an escort. You can take $40 and go downtown. Some of the women that you know have friends, albeit may not like fat or unattractive or whatever. If it's just as the object of getting pussy now, and I can say this as someone in my age, getting pussy now is easier than it ever was.
Yeah.
If that's just your goal. And It could be via escort. It could be traveling overseas. And let's say you want long-term pussy, but you don't want to get an STD or anything like that. There's a way to 100% mitigate that shit too. There's silicone love dolls, and I'm not advertising them. I'm just saying you have options. We as men have far more option than these bitches. Women have the option to pick whatever dick they want. We have the option to pick how we spend our fucking time. And the thing about it is, there's the artificial womb. And I've even known some guys that have paid women. They'll find some really attractive woman and pay for an egg for them to fertilize and say, okay, you carry the baby, I'll take care of it. You'll never have anything to do with it, and this will just be my kid. You live your fucking life. Fuck you. Or they just use artificial womb. There are tons of ways to get what you want without ever having the woman involved in anything that you're doing. But if it's just the object of just getting laid and sex, you're in the wrong fucking place, man. Stay out of Chicago, stay out of Cali, stay out of New York. 3 places even if you get laid, 3 places you don't want to be, because like Alaska, STDs and shit runs rampant, and city bitches are dangerous. I'm not going to sit here and say rural people aren't dangerous or rural women aren't dangerous, but throughout the course of my life, I have had better experiences with rural women. But that could just be a me thing. But I've had better experiences with rural women because they'll play games. But when you live in a small town, yeah, small towns have hoes, but it's a little harder to be a hoe, because once you became known as a hoe in a small town, everybody's gonna know. As opposed to, and that's why these town bitches, these rural bitches, have to go to the city to be a slut, and then they come back acting like nothing ever fucking happened. So
I'm glad you mentioned that. When I was stationed in Grand Forks, North Dakota, that's where I lost my virginity. And I lost my virginity at 23, Dennis. Because I'm from Virginia, right? So I didn't lose it till I had. So the travel max and travel location max, that shit is real. Like some places, some states it'll be easier for you. Some states it's gonna be harder. I'm in South Carolina. It's kind of difficult, but I really don't give a fuck. I'm MGTOW monk. I'm focusing on getting my finances right, getting my health right, and just living a peaceful life. You know what I mean? But yeah, like Blackwolf hit on the head, man. You got escorts, you can go overseas, and guess what, Jimmy? There's nothing wrong with paying for it. Yeah. As long as you're not going to a strip club, throwing bills on the stripper, you can't even touch the bitch. I think strip clubs are dumb to me, in my opinion. I've never been to one. It's like, wait a minute, why am I giving the stripper all this money? I can't even touch her. I can't even do anything. And most of these strippers that I've seen, they really don't look attractive. They're sweating. They're musty.
I mean, it's just disgusting.
I'm like,
they got armpit hair. These bitches are disgusting. I mean, like, I'm gonna say it, like, the average Western woman as a whole, in comparison to women from other places, is fucking disgusting. I mean, they walk around with like armpit hair, dyeing their hair every color of the fucking rainbow and everything else. And I swear, man, by the time I'm an old man, I'm gonna be like 92 and wrinkly or whatever. I hope that they put me on the front of National Geographic and they go, we're gonna say this is the newest one. It's gonna be a man running with, like, is the man running with buffalo? No, it's a man running with fat women that look like buffalo. He's running away from them.
Oh,
damn,
shit.
Showed up.
Joe the Philosopher, you're right. The strip club is the dumbest thing you can do with your money, and I've spent money on dumb stuff. Shit, I think the strip club is because it's just like you can't touch them, you can't do anything with them. Why are you paying for something that you can't even touch?
It's like paying to masturbate. Same damn thing with this OnlyFans TikTok shit. I have never donated money on YouTube, at least to my knowledge. I'm especially not gonna, give money to some asshole with a damn Cash App telling me like 40 different ways to get fucking, like 48 ways to catch a fucking VD. Fuck that shit. And that's the thing. There's no shame in paying for it, and let me tell you why. You pay for it anyway. If you go meet a woman and you take her out to dinner, who's paying for the food? Who's paying for the gas? And even if you're not paying, you are spending your time. Time is money. Time is valuable. Time is something that you will not get back. And so, yes, you are expending energy and essentially going uphill in the hopes that going downhill will be easier once you reach the top. But if you don't reach the top, then what's the point? It becomes it's the very definition of insanity. You're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. It's insane.
And it's more, yeah, you're right, Blackwolf. And it's more convenient too, because the thing is, if you do get an escort or a prostitute, whatever, you know what you want. She knows what she wants. She gets the money. She does her thing, and she leaves. You know, it's just that simple. You don't have to go through hoops because guess what? I'd rather you spend $50 on a prostitute getting in, getting out, versus you spending $50 on a date. You don't even get a damn kiss.
Yeah, you're lucky if you get that. I mean, and some of those escorts, from what I hear, they'll bring their own medical records. If you're worried about the whole STD thing, some of them carry around their fucking medical records, for God's sake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
that's how professional it is now.
And that $50, like, it's better well spent on a prostitute than taking a bitch out on a date, spending $50. You don't get nothing. That $50 will be worth it with a prostitute, because at least you're getting what you want. She gets the money, you get pleasure, and then boom, you're done. No strings attached. Versus you're on a date, you're nervous as shit. Like in your mind, you're thinking, man, I hope I sleep with her tonight. I'm hoping I sleep with her tonight. You spend $50, and then she says, damn, I really had a good time, but it's just not going to work out. You just lost $50. And then after you take her home, she has Chad in the fucking bushes waiting for you to leave so he can smash that pussy. So you just wasted $50 and you just pay for your own rejection and your own humiliation. She got a free meal. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and even if you are the Chad, I learned this shit the hard way in high school. If a woman will cheat with you, she will cheat on you. Remember that. If she's hanging out with you instead of hanging out with her boyfriend, or screwing you and not her boyfriend as quickly, and there's some guys believe they got a loyal chick just because they got some chick cheating on her boyfriend. If she'll cheat with you, she'll cheat on you. Hoes are not loyal. You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Stop trying to make them what they are not. Granted, if you're lucky, you find one of the real ones, great. But don't put all your eggs in one basket and bank for that. We don't live this Leave It to Beaver lifestyle. This isn't a Brady Bunch, and gonna have or Gilligan's Island, or damn, I guess I'm really dating myself. Fuck, but it's not one of those things. It's just relationships don't function that way anymore, and until the new generation restructures that, or completely gets rid of marriage, because I think marriage needs to be abolished. It needs to be done away with. Nobody wants the government in their bedroom. It's not a cool outcome. Women are getting upset because men want them to sign prenups, which don't do much. They get thrown out in the courtroom all the time.
Yeah, they don't work.
Out. Yeah, but women get offended when you try to get them to sign that, and so they know. Anybody considering getting married, go pack a lunch, go sit in the back of the courtroom and watch those divorce cases. See how they turn out. There are women that weaponize their children and tell children to lie on the dad in order to, they brainwash damn children. They weaponize them. So not only do you have a woman that hates you, you now have children that hate you. Congratulations.
Yep. And this is why I made that video. Why pay a high price for low quality? And I love to use that word investment a lot, because when you do marry a chick, you are investing a lot into her. You're investing your time, your money, your protection, and your resources into her. That's an investment. And
a costly one at that.
Yeah, and when it doesn't work out, when you get a divorce, you're not only that you're paying to maintain that relationship, but after you get a divorce, you're going to be paying figuring out why it didn't work. So you're going to be paying both ways. You're going to be paying to keep her happy, and then after it's over, you're going to be paying trying to figure out, damn, why didn't it work out? So you're going to be paying figuring out why it didn't work.
Not to mention, when you end up in that position, you think the PUA is going to have your back? You think they're going to go, oh, let me help you out, bro? No.
You got to game your wife. Hey, actually, PUA say that shit, like, well, you got to game your wife.
Seriously?
And here's the thing. Believe it or not, when you look at married couples today, even though they're still married, the marriage probably was over. Let's say let's say, for example, gentlemen, a married couple was married for 10 years, right? The marriage was probably over the 7th year. It was probably over already at that point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's like fuck, man. It's a relationship can be dead long before. I mean, I think a lot of these relationships are on fucking life support anyway.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
if you and your wife have to go to marriage counseling, it's over.
oh yeah, it's game over at that
The
point.
fact that y'all mentioned that hey, hey honey, I think we should go to marriage counseling. It's over. The fact that you say that, it's a wrap. You might as well just end it. Just go your separate ways.
And that's
Gentlemen, please don't do it. I mean,
yeah,
again, we don't tell people what to do. We're just letting you know the risk and what you put yourself into, because nothing is worse than a man not only getting cheated on, but to lose everything that he worked for, at least half of it, all of that, and you did everything that you could. Guess what, gentlemen? It doesn't matter what you do. Nothing can be enough to please the modern female, and you know this. So why do you still continue to think that, oh, I'm her only one? She has other options. Do you really think that honestly, there are married women right now. They're at the club right now, dancing with some other men, probably going home to his hotel to smash her while the husband's out at work, busting his ass, working overtime to buy her gifts that she always wanted. Women don't give a fuck, gentlemen. This is the reality that you're going to have to accept. There are men right now working overtime on the weekend to buy his wife the shit that she always wanted, the shit that she always dreamed of. But she's cheating on him right now. Like, do you really want to live that life?
not to mention if this happened to a friend of mine, fellas, and this is something you might
Share
want
it.
to take good note of. A good friend of mine, a few years back, on his 30th birthday, he caught his wife cheating, and even though he caught her red-handed, she still ended up with half his shit. And you want to know what she said in the courtroom? It's his fault for never being home and making me unhappy. He emotionally abused me.
Easy. That's all they got to do.
That's
So,
all he had to
fellas,
say.
I laugh at dudes when they say, "I'll just sign a prenup, and if she cheats on me, then they should have to pay now." Now, unless you're military, then you're kind of safe, because if you're in the military and if she cheats on you, then you're in good hands. But other than that, it really doesn't matter what you do. Like once it's over, it's a wrap. And believe it or not, Black Wolf, women do this shit on purpose. Married women do this shit on purpose. They withhold sex from their husbands on purpose,
To piss
making
them
them
off.
horny. Yeah, to make him not make him cheat, but kind of like force his hand, if that makes sense, to cheat. And then she's like, boom, there you go. He cheated on me. So boom, right there. Women do this shit on
And
purpose.
And you're right about that VA thing. I mean, dude was also, I think he was a Marine at one point. She tried to go up to the college and use his VA benefits, and we all kind of looked at that. She almost got her ass beat that day too. She tried to go to the college and use his VA benefits for her. This is after they got divorced because
Mhm.
he was still using his fucking name for shit, even
Yeah,
though his name was a lot of shit.
because if you're in the military and if you're married to your wife for 10 years, and if you do something fucked up, if you cheat on her, you got to pay her for the rest of her life.
Yep.
Just 10 years after marriage. That's how the military works. And I laugh at dudes in the military that want to get married. I'm like, bro, I don't know why, especially these young airmen out there getting married. I'm like, bro, y'all two barely even knew each other for 2 months. And y'all say that, oh, I'm in love with her, or we in love.
You,
I'm like, oh my
you
God, man.
get turned
All
into
it
a
is,
fucking cash cow.
all it is just a bunch of two horny people just want to get it on. That's really it. They're not in love.
You
It's
get
just two
turned.
horny people that think that they're in love.
And that's the thing. You have to like who you're with, or else you'll just be a cash cow or walking, ATM. I mean, I've met people on very rare occasion to where, been together like 8, 10 years. I mean, that's very fucking rare. But hell, even when I asked the men in my family, because some of them been married like 50 years, I asked my uncle, I like, and this was just a joke question. He smiled. I mean, he was laughing about it, but I could tell this motherfucker was probably serious. Because I told him about MGTOW, I told him about the red pill, and he's pushing like he's like 66. My mom's 66 years old. And so I asked him, well, your kids are grown and everything, and, you seem to have a nice relationship. Like, how do you do it? He's like, love and understanding. I was like, no, really, how do you do it? He's like, well, we have an understanding. And I said, what's the understanding? Well, fuck me over, and she's going to have an anvil or an anchor tied to her legs, and I'm just going to throw her out there in the lake.
Oh, shit.
I said, so that's how you think? I said, so that's how love works. He's like, no, it shouldn't work that way, but we have an understanding of fuck me over, it's game over for you. So it was just, he said that shit.
But it shouldn't have to go to that point, though. But the thing is, and I hear what he's saying, but it shouldn't have to even go to that point. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like no man should even be stressing about, is my wife cheating on me? Is my wife cheating on me? That's fucking stressful. A lot of men are thinking like that right now. Is my wife cheating on me? Is she cheating on me? This motherfucker can't even sleep. He's losing his fucking hair. He's getting fat, stressing over this shit every day. Just imagine marrying a pretty woman, right? Like a woman that's a 9 or a 10. And I tell dudes like, yo, gentlemen, don't even waste your time. Because I talk to dudes that got with 9s and 10s. They said that most of the time, not all of them, but most of the time, 9s and 10s, they feel like they don't have to put in the work for anything, even in the bedroom, even sex. They don't put in the work for sex because in their mind, like, I look good. I don't have to do anything.
There's no saying about that. You ever hear the whole fucking a fish thing, it's like fucking a dead fish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's where they just lay there. They don't even try. They don't do nothing. And then that, I mean, hell, you might as well be using your fucking hand at that point. Shit.
Because in their mind, they're like, I'm the baddest bitch, so why should I?
Yeah, that's the thing. They just don't even care.
So like I was saying with the whole thing with your uncle, and shout out to him. I'm glad things are doing good, but it shouldn't have to go to that point, and no man should have to be stressing. Is my wife cheating on me? Is she happy with me? It's just like, Blackwolf. How can a man cannot live with a lot of stress in his life? It takes years off your life. Because to me, being MGTOW monk is adding years to my life because it made me accept reality. It also made me accept the fact of it made me also accept that I'm not compatible with today's society. I'm basically an outcast, and I enjoy the things that I do, especially doing this. For example, I really enjoy doing this. I like alternative music, like Chicago, the old music, stuff like that. It made me accept like, this is what you like, this is what you don't like, and I found my identity, and it's adding years to my life. I believe that we're going to live longer lives. Hopefully, if no health issues happen, I believe that we're going to live longer lives than married men will, because they're stressed out. They got to take care of their families. Less sleep. They got to take the families on trips. Gentlemen, I'm telling y'all right now, if you do get married and have children, your wife is going to want to go on a trip. The way chicks are now, they want you to take you and your children to Disney World, take them to Carowinds, take them to King's Dominion, all these parks, right? They're looking at you. You got to pay for that shit. And guess what? You can tell your wife that, honey, we can't afford it. We can't afford it. But we want to go. I want our family to go. You're going to do it anyway.
Yep.
Even though the funds aren't there. So you got to take extra money out of your savings account to take her and your kids to these amusement parks for entertainment. Because she feels like it's time for us to go on a family trip, because she's not patient. Because if you get married, women are not patient. They want things then and now. What's she going to do? This is the reality. Am I a married guy? No, but the way that women are today, women are not patient. They want things now.
Yep. They don't. That's why I laugh when women start talking about building a fucking empire. I mean, they wouldn't know the first thing about it. They don't want to help you build anything. They want an already pre-built metaphorical empire where, nothing. They want Toon World from Yu-Gi-Oh! That's what they fucking want, like fucking pre-built castle society, and it's just nothing in this world functions like that. And this is why when they invited women in the workplace, all hell broke loose. And this isn't me saying that women can't be doctors, nurses, surgeons, engineers, but as far as all the other shit goes, it was a fucking it was a pain in the ass. They just talk to each other. They fuck up people's appointments. I mean, I'm currently in fucking knee pain because somebody fucked up my appointment. I have to drink because I'm low on fucking painkillers. I don't have no meniscus in either one of my fucking knees. Well, like hardly any because of a fucking accident and shit. And so it doesn't help that I'm getting old. I'm gonna have arthritis by the time I'm fucking 45 or even 40. And that's fuck it. That's fine. But this is what I'm fucking talking about. And then people will turn around and complain about our bad fucking attitude. My attitude and my apathy comes just from my life. And the thing about it is I don't use my bad life as an excuse to beat people over the fucking head. But I do acknowledge the things that have happened to me, and I let the younger people vent. They need to vent. Just don't scream at me. God, I'm on your side, jackass. If anything, I get it. I'm not gonna be one of those older guys that fight the young. I'm gonna be one of those older guys that I'll sit back and listen. When I'm no longer on the throne, I'm gonna sit back and listen and see. Okay, well, you want to go there? Whoops, Jessica's ass. Go whoop her ass. Shit ain't not gonna affect me for the most part. But at least that's our job, because long after whatever happens to me, long after me, somebody has to be a keeper of the flame. They have to keep the torch burning. Like, keep the message out there. Keep the message going strong no matter what happens. Because a lot of us who talk about the red pill stuff, there's great guys I know of, like Traversable, and all the guys that come on my stream and everything, including, Batman, including just everybody. You have to keep the ball going. And I know this video is a discussion about my life and everything, but I'm telling you in the best way that I can. I'm going to upload a video going into further detail because of what happened to me. What made me black pill was so fucked up. I don't even know how to put into words at this current moment as what drove me there. But I will say this. It was bad enough for me to seclude myself for almost 2 years. And it took another almost 5 years to get my shit together. It was that bad. I'm lucky to even be alive right now. My world was just shattered. All in one go. It wasn't necessarily gradual. It was just, the events were gradual, but it was just all in one go. Because something happens to you when you turn 30. When men and women turn 30, the woman realizes she's no longer, top of the heap in terms of sex market value, and then they do everything they can try to, keep that. But when we as men reach a certain age, we just stop caring. We are set in our ways. That's why, to every man in their 20s, so one guy said he was 25, Dennis, all these guys in their 20s and their teens, live your life, do what you want to do, because when you reach 30, 40, believe me, it happens to all of us. You will not give a fuck. You're going to reach a point where you don't want to get up, because it's too much fucking energy. If all that energy you have right now, be able to jump up and run around and shit, use that to, I don't care what you do, become a famous author or whatever, like write a book, learn an instrument, travel the fucking world, go to every damn country. Great. Fuck a bitch in every country. Like, whatever you want to do, live your life. Don't stay in one place hoping that one day someone will notice me for the person no, it won't happen. Just get that fucking thought in your mind right now. Didn't happen for me. Most likely won't happen for anybody else. I remember spending a good portion of my life. I helped at the church. I would go to church every Sunday, went to Sunday school, did everything for my community. My community.
Remember those
And then
days.
when time comes, nobody did shit for me. Nobody did anything for me and my family. My dad had a fucking business, got burned out on the goddamn ground. Nobody gave a fuck. Some people were glad. Those motherfuckers making all that money. Shit, currently what I have right now is a fraction of what I used to have. So I tell everybody there's a difference between wealth and riches. I've been all three. I've been poor. I've been middle class. I've even been wealthy. Now I just have a fraction of what I used to have due to fuckery and misplaced trust. It has taken me a long time to get that back, and now I don't want to lose it. I'll be lucky if I'm able to fucking retire. I mean, I'm getting closer, but shit. If you can start your own business or work with someone or work directly under someone starting their own business, and just never put all your eggs in one basket. Always be learning stuff and always be trying to jump in new avenues. Like, well, I suck at fishing, man. We'll just do it anyway. Keep sucking that until you get better. Once you've decided, okay, this isn't for me, learn something else. You have a whole fucking lifetime to learn something. Don't waste it chasing bitches. Women are always going to be around. I mean, damn it, man. If Hugh Hefner can fuck a bunch of bunnies and take a ball of Viagra at 90, whatever the fuck, I think we'll be fine. Women are the ones with the fucking window, not us. You are not having a baby. Me as men, we don't have a baby. We change the environment. We give birth to the new world. We don't give birth to fucking children. We don't give birth to that shit. And men need to realize this. That's women. Once a woman's had a kid, she's already served her fucking purpose. She's had a kid, whatever the fuck, by the end of her window, that's it. Okay, nobody expects women to carry heaven and earth and all this fucking shit. We as men, we do that. We lead society forward. And all the great philosophers and inventors, most of them didn't have kids. And if they did, maybe one or two. At best, they did not have a bunch of children. Intelligent people don't have 12 kids. Or even 5. I used to make this joke that for every child a man has, deduct 20 IQ points. I swear.
Damn. But yeah, man, I'm so glad that you mentioned that, Black Wolf. And you're very right, man. But we say that, but like it's just like dudes be like, yeah, I get it, man. You're right. But yet they still do the same shit. They still want to chase pussy. There's dudes right now in the club right now, hoping that chicks will sleep with them, and we're here, doing something more productive, like trying to, save dudes' lives, save them time, money, and energy. We don't have all the answers. We don't, but it's like, come on, fellas, like you're a man. Like it's a blessing to be a man because, like, we don't have to worry about our image that much. We don't have to worry about us hitting the wall. Because guess what, gentlemen? Women know deep inside that men only really want one thing, that vagina. We don't have to worry about that. We don't. Women need men. We don't need them. You got bitches on TikTok, and shout out to E-Man67. Check out his channel. He shows a lot of videos, but like, there's a lot of chicks in their 30s say that, oh, I'm lonely, even though they got like thousands of dudes in the comments. But they're delusional. Ignore that foolishness and just go live your life. Like Black Wolf, like you said, fishing. Honestly, Black Wolf, fishing is relaxing, whether I catch fish or not. But the fact that I'm out by myself, chilling. And gentlemen, go hang out with your guy friends. Go hang out. Go to a restaurant. Go to Dave & Buster's. Go have fun and go play. There's nothing wrong hanging with dudes. Black Wolf, we have been taught that just hanging out with guys is gay. No, it's not.
Yeah, if that's the case, women are the biggest gays I've ever known.
Yeah. There is nothing wrong with hanging out with your guy friends. Like, go have fun. Go out. You know what I mean? Just have a bonfire, because I'm in South Carolina. I hang out with guys that do bonfires about almost every Friday or Saturday, and it's fun. I bring pizza. They start the fire. We have marshmallows. It's a good time. It's all about relaxing. It's not about the bitches. It's not about none of that. It's about just enjoying. It's about reflecting, on your life, man. Because we're not promised tomorrow. So instead of wasting that time chasing bitches, because like Black Wolf said, the women are always going to be there. Focus on achieving your goals. Focus on that. I know it sounds cliche, but I don't know what it is, Black Wolf, but like that vagina it's like a magnet. It's trying to attach itself to these guys. Like they just don't want to let the pussy go.
And they'll fight for it. They damn will they fight for it. Like, holy shit.
Discipline, gentlemen. You gotta have that, and that's where discipline comes into play. No fap, semen retention. I practice that. Um, do it for your benefit and your health. And we're going to talk about mental health, and they're going to close this out, Black Wolf. But Black Wolf, like mental health is very important. Our society does not care about men when it comes to mental health. Do you have any take on that? Because like mental health is very important. Because if you can have all the money, all the material possessions, but if you're not right in the fucking head, then you might as well just basically just end up in a hole with nothing because you're dead inside. So what do you think about mental health before we close this out? I know you want to go to sleep and I got to wake up in the morning and work out and shit. But what do you think about that? Because mental health is very, very important for men.
I think mental health is something that, I mean, there are people out there that will tell you, well, just go talk to someone, go see a therapist or whatever. As men, to men watching this, you got to be careful with that too, because a lot of them are loony, and they'll have you thinking all sorts of crazy things. Don't take Xanax or for any type of antidepressant like a fucking Tic Tac or anything like that. And even if you do need medicine for whatever panic attack or anxiety or whatever thing you have, always don't put yourself in stress-filled situations, but at the same time, don't avoid all forms of negative stimuli. You need positivity and negativity in your life. You need success. You also need failure because it's through failure that you can actually learn. And when it comes to our mental and spiritual health, and just our health overall, this is something that we have to work on every day. I remember watching a scene from a show called BoJack Horseman, and BoJack he's struggling to go up this hill, and then this old, I think the old, I think it was like a monkey, a baboon or something. And this guy was just an old one. He's jogging up, and he goes back to BoJack Horseman, and one day he sees BoJack laying in the grass because BoJack is just killing himself to get up this hill, and he looks at him and says, "It gets easier, but you have to do it. You have to do it every day, but it gets easier."
Yeah, you're right, man.
Because for him, he had no problem walking up the hill, and that character, I believe, was like super out of weight, out of shape before, and he isn't like, you have an older character telling the young character, "Yeah, this is hard, but you have to keep doing it. But it only works if you do it every day." And that's what we as men we have to do. I mean, it doesn't have to be like my way or anything. Go meditate. Well, I meditate, but go meditate. Go do things that make you happy. You have to be comfortable with yourself at the end of the day, and that is the true secret to enlightenment. I cannot tell you how many times I've had people, even to this day, come up and go, "Oh, Black Wolf, what is this?" I hate this question so much, but I know I'll forever be getting asked this question the older I get. You seem like a person. What's the key to enlightenment? What is the meaning? It's not the destination. The final destination is the same for all of us. Ultimately death. I mean, all religions agree on it. Everything, like it's the ultimate thing that's going to happen. That in itself is a sense of permanency, but it's the journey itself. Enlightenment is what you make it. You have to be comfortable with yourself. You have to be happy in life, and if you improve your mental health, everything else follows. Improve your mental health, and your spiritual health will fall in line, and your physical health will most likely fall in line as well, depending on what you're dealing with. But you're not going to deal with it or be able to deal with it if you don't have the tools or you're not in the right environment. And to borrow a quote from Robin Williams, it's better to be alone than to be around people that make you feel alone.
Amen. Amen. And Robin Williams, he spent kind of like his whole acting career trying to make others happy, but deep inside, he wasn't happy himself.
Yeah, it's the sad clown trope. I understand that quite well. It's just sometimes you want to make other people happy in an attempt to make yourself happy, and it's the same for a lot of MGTOWs, especially myself. I want to help others. I was unable to get at least what I thought I wanted or what I wanted in the past, but as long as if I'm able to save at least one person, that's all that matters to me. If I'm able to help at least one person or even more, that's great. That makes me happy. That genuinely is able to bring me a sense of happiness. and it's called positive reciprocity. If you help someone below you or under the ladder, hopefully they'll help the next person under them, and so forth and so forth. And that's how you make the world a better place. Improve yourself, help the person under you, and it'll just be like a domino effect. That's the only way things are going to work. Someone above me helped me, I helped the guy below me, and we get to where we ultimately need to be. But you're not going to have those connections if you don't go out there and form them. If you don't, and it's not about, the clothes or the whatever. It's about forming healthy connections with people. Don't go to places and go, oh, I'm only going to talk to the women. No, talk to everybody. Talk to the men, talk to the women, form actual connections. That person may never be your best friend, but you may need to walk across that bridge at some point in time, and it will help if you didn't burn the motherfucker. It might just help you someday. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. That's all I'm saying. And even if it's your goal to just be alone like myself, you still have to have some kind of decorum about yourself. So it's just improve yourself at all costs. You don't do that for anybody else. You do that for yourself.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. This was a good live stream, Blackwolf. This is really good. Do you have anything else to say, brother, before I close this out?
Well, I guess I will say this. I thank you for inviting me up here. It's been an honor. I feel a hell of a lot better. I was kind of, I'll tell people in the comments. I was really down in the dumps about some shit going on in my own life, but it's cool. Things are getting better. I mean, there's always gonna be bumps in the road. I'm doing well, and I'm gonna keep getting better and doing well. My health it took a dip, but it's starting to improve as well. But no worries. I'll be around long as I can, kind of thing. That's which is important. Take care of your physical health as well. Don't do that for anybody else but yourself. We all coast through this world alone, but it doesn't. We all go out alone, but it doesn't have to be lonely on the way there. It's what you make it, and that's the message that I want to hammer in and get across, because I don't want nobody to have like a life worse than mine or like mine. I want everyone's life to be better. I want people to do better, be better than me. Great. I'm happy for that. That's not gonna make me feel. That's gonna make me happy. Great. Be better than me. That's what I want.
Yeah, because I'm 26. I'm getting up there. So the young guys that are coming up out of high school and in the college, like for example, the Derek Chauvins of the world. Shout out to that brother. You know, it's fortunate. It's really good that you know this information now, bro. And you know, you guys have a lot in store in the future. It's going to be rough, but as long as you know the knowledge and apply it to your life, have that discipline as a foundation, you'll be good to go. But yeah, man, this was a great live stream, Blackwolf. I really appreciate you coming up, man. Um, we've been wanting to do this. I know that we're only supposed to do about an hour and 30 minutes, but the conversation was very good, man, and people really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
And everybody, yeah, it was really good. Everyone, I put the Black Wolf's channel in the chat earlier, and it's also in the description. Please subscribe to Black Wolf. If you type in on YouTube, because we all know how YouTube is. They like to shadow ban people. Type in Black Wolf MGTOW, and also again, his channel link is in the description. So please subscribe to this brother. He makes really, really good content, and he has more content to come. So subscribe to this brother. And the base Pluto has a live stream going on right now. So if you guys want to check him out, here's his link. So I'm about to head over there and check it out. It's a good one. And that's really it. I really appreciate you guys coming. Till next time, God bless y'all. Stay safe and peace.